Never mind me while I'm stepping out my circumference. I feel the nerves trickling down. It's life humbling. My words stutter, stumbling, staggered, and caught off guard. This the life of a jigaboo, introverted and scarred. Whoa, my mother been the melodies while they sing the choruses. Direct message from Slade saying we need more of it. Paranoia in my state. I see envy at high rates. Now it's crop off the fate. Turn great, so I fly straight. Was gone for a minute. Now I'm back like an ex with big factors. I see you turn flat like extinct like some raptors. When I drop through purposes and practice and patience, we move to greener pastures. They're saying life is a matter of mastering basics and mastering patience. More time I get tired of waiting. Maybe it's fate procrastinating. The times are bad, so it really had me sprung. Like she got me doing things that I never do. You thought that we connected when in fact it was trauma bonding. Just leave it up to me to break the rules, never corresponding. My childhood filled with fence climbs and knee scrapes and bikes and kicking it by the street signs. The older I get, I'm trying to lessen any screen time. The bounce back heavy, I rock steady on climb. This world's a fucking loop. The news will pick and choose whatever truth they wanna give to you. I cannot stomach it, so I poop. Oops. When life turns sweeter, the lemon mouths get louder. But I'm amplified with ghosts from God like that boy Fowler. Working like I got that point to prove. But truth be told, the proof is right in the pudding. No point to lose. 60 for the crepes, yeah, I did that just because. She expecting more, girl, you know I'm saving up. Left me on red, well, it was what it was. Never stress over them joints or in downs when times get rough, so I ghost. Long are the days when we was close, and when I see you, it's like two completely different type of goats. I approach the weekly fire dropping, which I'm feeding. Still, I don't expect to be the one. Your boy having bugs. Still, the songs get spun like Beyblades and teacups. My fun fair to those that ever really know me from jump. So what's up, I've been the one they all depended on like TJ. Now they're dead wilder than a furry knockout punch, leaving them straight stunned. It's hella fun. Preseason. Woo! Never mind me while now you know I'm coming through. When the growth look good on you, best believe they wanna screw now. I've been trying to climb, devil threw me in the dark. Baby, don't be insecure, you can still go make a mark like blow. Could never let them drain my soul now. Blow. Table turning like doorknobs, wow. Blow. I think I'm about to set sail. I'm a walking, living legend, walking with my chest out. Life keep dealing me cards, I keep feeling it.
Yes, people. We're back in the building, man. We're back in the building. I know this is new for everybody, 2 days in a row now that I'm going live. I know it's a new thing, but it's 2024, baby. We're here. Happy New Year to all those I have not spoken to before. And you guys can obviously see I got the kings with me. Yeah, I mean, I've got the guys with me this evening looking to chop it up. So before we obviously dive in today's show, taking a look at the midfield yesterday. If you guys didn't watch the show, it was a very, very good show that we had talking about the Liverpool defense. Today, we're moving on to the midfield. Big up everybody who's already in the chat. But let me chat to my guests real quick before I get into you guys who are in the damn building. Jerry, Sav, Ends, chat to me, guys. How we doing, man? How we doing?
Bless up, man.
I'm calm, man. Calm, chilling. Friday, that Friday feeling. I haven't got work. Well, I have work, but a lot of us don't have work, so it just seems a bit easier in the ecosystem. But yeah, man.
I swear down, you just said it was Friday. I forgot it was Friday. Bro. Shit, man.
Oh no, because I've got a free weekend, so I know it's Friday. Trust me on that one, bro. Trust me. Ends, how we doing today, man?
Good, man. Chilling, bro. Had a little cheeky Nando's, as they say. Good, man.
Would you get?
Why is it cheeky, bro?
Bro, that's the word that one use.
When you get Nando's, mild, hot, lemon and herb, what's the flavor?
No, I used to normally have hot, yeah, but I like the Peritema thing at the moment, man. It's vibey still.
Okay. No, I feel you.
Bit vibey still, so yeah, no, it's good, man.
I thought there was a couple lemon and herb man in the building, but it's all right. It is what it is. Pick up everybody. I'm just saying, I know a couple people who do that.
Why it's cheeky then? I asked Ends this the other day, bro, but
yeah, for real. Why is it cheeky Nando's? Why do people call it cheeky Nando's?
I only said it to trigger Savage still.
Now, big up everybody in the building. Jerry, obviously, in the building. Ends in the damn building. Big up Andy Varani. Big up Keep It Level. guys, make sure you head on over to the pitch. And everybody who's on the panel this evening, make sure you're subscribing to all of their YouTube channels. Please, you already know the work that these guys are putting in. So please, please, please send some love, man. Send some damn love. And Beige and Reds TV, big up, my guys. Make sure you guys head on over there as well. Subscribe to their channel. Who else is in the damn building? Assad, are Chelsea not playing today? Or are they're not playing today? If not, big up, man. If they are, bro, go and you know what I'm saying, go see what Chelsea are saying before you say anything this evening. Big up Agama in the building. And to say, hope you're all good, my bro. Hope you're all good. What else is there? All right, say no more. Guys, today we're looking at the midfield. That has probably been the talk of the town for, well, beginning of the season anyway, for Liverpool fans. It was the talk of the town for near on 6-7 months. In fact, no, I lied. 2 months into last season. Since then, up until the end of the transfer window, that's the summer transfer window just gone. It was the talk of the town for Liverpool fans. We already know Liverpool obviously had the aging, so to speak, midfield. You know, we had players like Henderson, Fabinho still in there. Both of them, of course, have moved to Saudi. James Milner, of course, moved to Brighton, which is quite surprising that he's still in the Premier League after all of these years. But, you know, here we are. We've still got, obviously, Thiago. We ain't seen him for a while. So, I don't know if he's really okay. But we've still got, obviously, Thiago knocking about. But then we obviously have the summer where we sign 4, would we say, good players, have shown their abilities, you know, throughout the time. McAllister, getting him through the door first. Then, obviously, of course, we sign Szoboszlai. And then we get in Gravenberch. And then last but not least, we get in Wataru. Before we obviously get into the nooks and the crannies, pre-season times, what was you guys thinking? And I'll start off with Jerry, then move to Savage, then move to Ends. What were you thinking in the pre-season? We're coming off that season, as we know. I don't want to get too into it. It wasn't a great season, so to speak. Everybody spoke about the midfield. How are you feeling about the midfield rebuild that we were going to do? And were you at any point kind of worried about the kind of players that we may potentially be getting in?
I was worried, man. If I'm going to be deadly honest, I was worried. I was eagerly, quote unquote, awaiting Bellingham to touch down. Do you know what I mean, at the AXA, knowing that it wouldn't happen, but still with kind of not an optimistic, because I wasn't optimistic, but a hopeful kind of, do you know what I mean, that scope on it. Just like Bellingham coming, even though I knew he wasn't going to be turning up. I didn't really trust the club to act proactively. There were no, as you know, with Liverpool, when it comes to transfers, a lot of the time, we don't know who the transfers are. It's very rare that Liverpool are linked with a player for 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, and then we go and sign a player. A lot of the time, it's just like with Endo, boom, we just sign Endo, and it comes out of nowhere. McAllister was very similar. But before signing the players, I just weren't convinced, man. Obviously, at the time, in hindsight, we didn't know Henderson would be leaving. We didn't know Fabinho would be leaving. And there was the only confirmed outgoings were obviously Ox, Naby, and Milner, which are the 3 midfielders that were leaving, obviously, alongside Bobby. So it wasn't. It was like, you know what? Curtis Jones had a good back end of the season. Where's Elliott's ranking in the team? If we bring someone in, who would that be? I was kind of just like, look, let's get our business done early and just snap up anyone. I was thinking of Jefferson Lerma, Tyler Adams, who I like a lot of. We were speaking of Yunus Musa, a lot of players that wouldn't have broken the budget, but would have just come into a midfield. And that's how I felt going into it, to be fair.
No, I feel you, bro. Savage, chat to me, man. Pre-season, how was you kind of feeling? Heading into the preseason, and obviously with everything that was going on and what we needed to kind of do.
I think I was probably a lot more relaxed than most Liverpool fans on the midfield, to be honest. There's probably no evidence to why I was like that. I was just thinking, of course, the season ended not ended so bad, but the season was so bad overall. I'm like, surely they're gonna make the right changes they need to make and stuff like that. The real thing then was which personnel, and obviously every day it was changing of which person and stuff. You know what I mean? And then everyone was, you know how the fan base gets, bro. Instead of they just go with the player that they like, they hear a name and all of a sudden everyone likes that player. And then when he doesn't go to Liverpool, he's shit. And that's just what it's getting day by day.
Caicedo.
Yeah, Caicedo and, you know what I mean, Amrabat and Kone and everyone's trash once they don't come to Liverpool. But obviously the weirdest thing was the fact that was building into the season and then into the pre-season, releasing pictures of Hendo all in shape and shit like that. Fab seems to have got more rest, and then it just changes quick. And like they're going as well, because obviously the other ones we saw them take their photograph on the pitch and they got their little picture frame and all that stuff, and they got their decent send off still. Because overall, once it's done, listen, you did your part for Liverpool, and some of you just didn't do enough as what we thought you was going to do, but you tried on it, whatever. No one chooses to be injured. So I just didn't know it would be this many midfielders we would sign in one window.
Same.
Well, while Hendo and Fab was down, okay, Hendo's gonna drop back onto the bench. Milner's probably gonna leave, which I got with that early, and then I thought Fab would stay as well. And then all of a sudden, everything started changing, man. And I was like, okay, let's see what happens, man. And then once I seen what players it was, they were all players that I liked at some point or liked at the time, so I was all right with it. Wataru was the most random one to me because he came out of nowhere. Like, he literally was just like, tomorrow is on his way. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't one of the people who didn't know who he was, but it was still random to me. But I wasn't complaining. Some people were screwing that it was him. Like, you've already got 3 midfielders through the door. If this is the 4th one, I'm fine with it, bro. So, yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it, man.
What about yourself, Ends, man? How was you feeling in the summer and that in terms of the rebuild and everything? And the players obviously leaving.
Yeah, no, pretty much what I said yesterday as well, man. But in terms of just players, innit, we knew that Jerry put it rightly, and obviously Sav touched on it. You knew Milner and that was going, you know Ox was going, you know Naby was going. And then you was thinking, okay, what can we do to replace those guys mainly? Because we didn't expect Hendo or Fab to kind of just say, yeah, now we're leaving still. And then when Endo was leaving, I was like, I'm not really fussed. The one I was really fussed about was Fab, because even though he didn't have a great season the year before, I still felt the job that we was asking him to do was just too much, and it was too much of a burden, just him on his own in there. And we weren't playing great. And I said last season, if you just add a bit of legs around him, I'm sure we can get the best out of him again. It's just maybe he lost a bit of interest, maybe. And I think they all suffered mental fatigue last season, all the players, to be fair. Mostly the midfield, because they're the ones that kind of protect the defense and also help us with the transitional play and stuff. And then we weren't getting none of that. And then started seeing the players that we were signing. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, you got your Szoboszlai, and I'm like, solid player, cold. Never expected Liverpool to ever sign a player like that, to be honest. Signed him. Then you get in Gravenberch. He came in obviously late as well, but you're like, another one. Like, bro, I never expected us to even think about buying these type of players, because they're away from what Klopp normally goes for. He goes for that power and pace kind of, even though these men have got it, but he normally goes for those guys, you know, the ones that just want to run and tackle and kick people and pass the ball simple. But he's getting technically gifted ballers, man, that can carry the ball well and try different things, shoot from outside the box, score you goals, get you assists. So I was like, okay, cool. McAllister as well. Watching him last season, but he played mainly in like a double pivot. In the World Cup, he played at the base of the diamond. He played on the left side of the diamond as well, right side of the. So you're like, okay, you're getting a versatile midfielder that can keep the ball well. Didn't look at him and go lone 6. But you're like, if you need him, he's operated in there before. So you're like, oh, we're getting some bad boy ballers, man. The one I just wanted us to kind of keep Fab as well, just for the extra year, but wasn't to be. And then getting Wataru in, it's cold, man. Cold. And the crazy thing was, months before that, maybe even you'd say not the start of the year, but like just before the season finished, it was was it alive, bro? Was in the back office, I think, and then Tarmizi and Zubiri, and then the man was just chopping it up about like obviously the Asian players, and Wataru was one of the names that came across the list.
It's because I did the thingy in it. I did the Japan, I think Japan Spain or Japan Germany watch along. I was talking about him in that stream still. So.
Well, it was just one of those
Japan
plays.
Were cold in the World Cup, but
He's one of them players you think we ain't interested in those, man. Based on how Klopp has signed his players, you're like that ain't the type of players that he would want to get in. But then for him to say like he's the only one, you know, when you sign a player and he's in there talking to them, but But he's talking to a man about the reason why we signed you, the heart, the passion, the leadership. We need you on the pitch. We need your legs on the pitch. I'm like, bro, I ain't heard you say this shit about anyone. You're like, oh, okay, what's so special about this man? But then starting to see the reason why he wanted him in the team in the first place, but the man just comes in with a gum shield and just start running off everyone. Is he the type of player everyone wants? Probably not, but he's doing his job. And obviously he's this month's, or not this month's, but last month's Liverpool Player of the Month as well. So he must have been doing something great. Was I worried off the back of last season based on how the players were playing? But it was more interest. They just didn't look interested.
Yeah.
Pre-season showed a bit of difference. There was like a lot of, obviously we don't want to talk about the attackers, but in the midfield, you're like, there's no real cohesion, man. And then you started seeing the Donnies that come in. You're like, okay, this looks exciting. It's going to take a bit of time for them to all gel because they all have similarities in the terms of the way they play. But eventually they're going to get their own, in the system, they're going to get their own role. And then that's probably where we're going to then see the best out of them. I feel like this season is just let's just see how it goes with them. You're still going to have to play with the confines of the system, but let's just see how it goes, and then we'll take it from there. But, bro, we're top, man. The midfield ain't doing too bad, are they? Can't lie, man.
And this is for all of these sections that I'm going to obviously be talking about in terms of the defense yesterday, midfield today, and then the attack tomorrow. That's the caveat for everything. Because the fact that I'm even, which is dumb for me to probably say, but the fact that I'm even doing this stream, the fact that I'm even here talking about it is because there seems to always be a conversation behind every section of the team, regardless. But we're top of the league. We're through to the next round of the Europa League. We've got the FA Cup to come on Sunday. We're through to the semi-finals of the League Cup. Yet, most people are not really happy with certain, which is fine. Listen, unless your team is perfect and has won every single game, and you're gonna find obviously things, and that part in itself isn't even really the issue. It's the way that we hear, or I hear people talk about some of the players, where I'm just like, even myself, which I've done many a time, sometimes I do feel like I kind of maybe need to sit back and just be like, maybe I shouldn't get onto them as much. Because what more can we do? Savage, I think you put it perfectly one time on stream recently when you said, it was either you or someone else, but I think it was you, mentioning about how much further in terms of points would, like what difference? As in, we can't be top A star. There's only top. There's not a top A star where you're like, oh, you can go into our next position, bro. We're already top of the league. We're top of the Europa League group as well. So I get it. There are little things, and yes, we all watch the games. We all analyze the games. There are little bits of the game that, maybe just tighten up there, or there's maybe a bit of a screw loose here. If we don't tighten it up, it might fall down. I get it, but at the same time, how much further can we possibly go? But it is what it is, man. Big up Andy Varani in the building. Big up everybody else who's in the building as well, man. Much love and appreciation. A big concern was whether the midfield was going to gel together. And it has done quite nicely. Jerry, was that like, obviously with now us signing the players and stuff like that, was that like a big thing for you in terms of how quickly these players will be able to actually gel? Because it's not like we just signed one or two midfielders where you're like, all right, cool, we just signed a couple midfielders. We can give them time because we've still got Fabinho, Henderson, Bajcetic if he wasn't injured, and all these kind of other players who can still play while we let the other two guys jump in. Bro, we changed the entire midfield. We got a brand new midfield. Was that going to be a worry for you, like heading into the season, or were you 100%. Just like, hey, at the end of the day, just roll the dice?
100%. I think that married with the fact that, as Ends obviously stated, they weren't. I had a lot of question marks because even though we were signing players, and I was like, okay, we're signing players, I didn't really see how they go and fit in what Liverpool wanted. They weren't the stereotypical archetype kind of centre mid that Klopp would go for usually. So looking at it, I was just like, yeah, all right. Even if Klopp's going to try and convert them to go and do or have a different role at Liverpool, it's going to take them at least 6-7 months to gel. Like before we go in and they click into gear, I always use the argument of, the Fabinho, Milner, Wijnaldum, Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum partnership that got us to the obviously Champions League final when we came fourth look how long that took to kind of develop and you know what I mean, and kind of solidify itself as that unit. Obviously, especially considering Coutinho left as well. We brought in Fabinho that following summer. Fabinho didn't go straight in, and that was only one midfielder. So I was looking at it thinking, boy, if you're changing the whole midfield and you don't trust, and it didn't seem as though Klopp was going to trust the likes of Elliott, Jones. Who else was left in that midfield? Was that it? Thiago, obviously an injury concern, Bajcetic as well. Was you going to go and trust them to go and just be the leaders of that midfield? No. So these players that are coming in are going to be the starters. They're going to all have to hit the ground running. If they don't, we're screwed. Like we're going to be screwed because what Klopp asks for his midfield is very system specific. And when it is that, the only way you can kind of get to that next level is by reps. It's just reps doing the same thing, the patterns over and over and over again, to the point where you're like the Genie, Wijnaldum, Fabinho, Henderson midfield that just knew where they were at every single time. They didn't even have to look where they were passing at times because they just knew someone's there. Whereas for me, it would have taken obviously, I assumed it would take much, much longer than it has. I mean, look, we can discuss, I mean, whether that midfield is clicking as of yet, and as to why, obviously, whether, you know, is the standard. If this team had been in the league with City when we were competing for the league, how well would it have compared that season? That would be interesting to go and see. Obviously, you can't do that, but I had a lot of worries, but look, we're top in it, so you can't really complain. But I had a lot of worries going into it, man.
What about you, Savage, man? In terms of like the gelling of the order midfield that we obviously said, and the fact that we basically put them all in. Well, we put them all in, apart from Curtis Jones.
Yeah, man. I think I mean, what last season helped with is the fact that once we got so bad, we were just trying everything in it. So then we got to Bajcetic playing that, and I was hoping the season would start without him being injured, because I actually thought he would go into the squad. Every now and again, there's an outlier in it who performs so good that you just put him in and see what he can do. And I thought him and Thiago were probably, you know, that would be the cog there. They'll chop and change between them two. The Jelling parts of it, it's a bit mad, man, because obviously all them players individually have great attributes on their own and stuff like that. What Jerry said is true, man, about the midfield, what we had before. Like individually, they give you like 7, 8 out of 10 performances and stuff like that. But at their best together, it's 9 and 10s up. And it's all geared towards the attackers. And I think Klopp might have had that same idea, gear everything towards the attackers and don't look for the output from the midfield so much. And then obviously things change depending on how your attack is going on it. So they haven't gelled together yet properly, because they chop and change quite often, and there's been injuries and stuff like that. That's cool. But I think they'd probably look even better if the attack was scoring more goals, bro. Like if they were putting their goals away and stuff. That's where you probably could do extra in the season and get more points and stuff like that. Because I think people's biggest problem is sometimes it's not about if the midfield's gelling together as such, like crispy football all the time. It's just the fact that the individuals ain't doing what you've seen them do before for their other team and stuff. But for me, I give up on that as soon as they got to Liverpool. Not in a bad way, but I've been shown that before. That's what happened with Genie. He's a completely different player to when he played for Liverpool, to when he played for Newcastle and Netherlands. I'm like, okay, it's the system and we're geared towards it. And I've told you before, our system seemed like built around Trent and geared towards the attackers. But then I think when you realise the attackers might not put in enough goals or as much goals as before, you look for the output from the midfield, man. Trent was my biggest worry about this midfield, not the players who have come in. And not even in a bad way. Because last season was an accident. And I don't mean an accident in terms of Klopp don't know what he's doing, but if it wasn't so bad, Trent wouldn't have ended up inverted. It was like a last resort to, we've tried this, we've tried that. None of these things are working. But he was our main guy, creatively, him and Robbo. And you're the more creative one, and you look disinterested, and you're not playing the best. And yeah, defensively, you're not always the greatest, but he can defend. But nobody normally cares anyway because his attack's so good. But when his attack ended up poor as well, all of a sudden, you got this like lazy-looking Trent who looks like he don't want to do anything. So they geared it towards fixing him, and it worked towards the end of the season. And that was my worry, because I'm like, any plans they've got for the midfield going forward, I'm like, what are they going to do now when Trent's is inverted here? And I think you've seen the difference on the pitch now. You know what I mean? He affects everyone. He affects what Salah's doing, he affects what Szoboszlai's doing. But let's be honest, man, whoever's the best going forward in that in the midfield, and Szoboszlai might have to sacrifice what he's doing a little bit. I don't mind though. I don't mind too much, and you know what I mean. I need to see what he was doing in the other club and stuff. I don't. As long as the attackers are doing their job, no one will really care. Szoboszlai stuff gets highlighted every time. While it's been highlighted, him being not the best, is why the attack has been shit. So you kind of
coincidence.
You kind of take the sign off it and that, bro. So when he was rossing, he didn't score that many goals in that, but when he was getting them long range goals and he was running through team and stuff, like the attack was a little bit more fluid at the beginning of the season. So yeah, man, I'm all right with it, man. They ain't gelled properly yet, but I think they're good enough. And as I said, if the attackers do their job, you might be able to scrape through a season and the way it is now, win a league title with them just doing their defensive work properly and being decent going forward, and the attackers scoring the goals they should. Yeah.
I feel you, man. You telling me it ends, man.
Yeah. Do you know what, bro? I feel like because it's such a new midfield, right? I think they're a bit more hungrier in terms of, and the competitiveness between them is a hell of a lot more than it used to be. So you can see that none of them really wants to not play because they know if they don't play at their good level, someone's coming in. Because Klopp is just rotating slowly and he's just doing it in the right way at the time, in the right times. So, you know, when Gravenberch was cooking up, everyone's like, nah, he has to be the one that starts. Comes out for a game, picks up a knock, comes out, Curtis comes back in, cooks. And then like, nah, Curtis has to start. And that's the way I love it. But I love that competitive edge. And then you've got Szoboszlai on the other side. Because Mac was then injured, there was no one, you know, I think with Harvey as well, I don't want him to play in that midfield. I want him to go and be the guy that, you know, can play off where Mo plays in certain games where you don't need to play Mo necessarily. Play Harvey there. I think he gives us a different options, but that's about them guys. But I feel like there's no one really competing with Szoboszlai on that right-hand side. And I feel like Mac was fit. If McAllister was fit, and Szoboszlai was playing the way he was playing, and because Wataru was doing well, he would have went, okay, Wataru will just play in the 6 for now, and then Mac, you can then go right-sided 8. Or put Gravenberch there, whatever, vice versa. I feel like he just wants 2 players to compete in each position, and then the winner takes all kind of thing. But he's rotating it really nicely, man. The midfield, they're not gelled yet, and it's crazy because they're creating a lot of chances, they're scoring goals, they're getting assists. Defensively, at times they're a bit all over the place in some games, and that's not just 1 or 2. That's all of them in moments in the game. The only one that kind of has a bit more, you'd say, positional sense, you'd see Wataru in most games now. He's just there in it, making sure he's protecting us. But I feel like once they gel, bro, it's different. And then what Savage said, they're different players when they play for their international team. Szoboszlai is a completely different player. Obviously, we haven't seen Gravers play yet for his international. We see Curtis when he goes away for the England under 21s. He's a completely different player. Wataru is probably this same. It's like he just plays the same. McAllister is slightly different as well because he's more advanced in moments. He creates a hell of a lot more, and they trust him a lot more. But when they come and play for us, you can't have 5 Ronaldos in your midfield. You're going to have different players that has to do different roles and different positions, and they all have they all got the skill sets to do everything each other can do. But you can't have everyone doing the same job in it. Someone's going to have to sit back. One's going to have to do the ball retention. One has to be the ball carrier. And then within the game, it's down to you guys to think smartly and use your brain and go, okay, it's not working for me in this position. Okay, I'll swap with you. Or Klopp and the manager and the coaching staff will go, he's not working for him today. Let me take him out and put someone else in. So we just have to give them time, bro. And what I like as well, that because we're not playing great football, and I think that's maybe the issue for everyone. We're not playing like saucy football. We've played probably a couple of games where you're like, we just knock these men out the park. The good thing is they can only improve from this point. You can't get any worse. I'm not saying you can't get worse, but you can't really get any worse. Like the football has to improve. It's not like they all sit there going, bro, we can't even string a couple of passes together, man. We're dead ballers, but we're getting results. We're not playing too bad. But once we start clicking properly and we start understanding each other and where you're going to be, like what Endo and Fab and Genie was like, and what Savage and that was saying about, they will just pass the ball without looking at times, or just dummy here and dummy there because they know certain. These guys don't know that yet. There's times when I see them go to do it, and then it gets intercepted, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, bro. I thought you were gonna wait here." but he didn't do that. Just give them time, man. And bro, when they start clicking, because of the talent and the skill sets these men have.
No. I feel you, man. And I think there's I was just writing it down now. There's 3 points that you mentioned just there I wanted to quickly touch on. The first thing was the rotation. Do you guys, and this is open floor to whoever, with the rotation thing, you guys are reading, I think I've spoken about this as well on your show, and speaking about, we rotate the midfield, we rotate the attack. Defense, I don't feel like we rotate in terms of because we just want to keep so many players fresh. It's just more because of injuries and stuff like that. I do think he wants to keep a settled defense, but Kanate gets injured, Matip's obviously now injured, and all of these kind of caveats. But in terms of the midfield, we do rotate that a bit. I know we did have a settled in terms of it was McAllister in the 6, Jones out left, Szoboszlai on the right-hand side. But then we started to see performances from Harvey Elliott coming off the bench, doing really, really well. We started seeing performances from Gravenberch coming off the bench, starting in the Europa League games, him doing really, really well. And then you guys already know I'm sick of this flip-flopping thing that we keep flipping doing, which is 1 minute, no, Gravenberch has got to play because he did this in the game and he looks saucy on the ball, which is fine, no problem. Next minute, Gravenberch was shit, man. Curtis Jones, he keeps the ball really, really well, so we got to keep him, blah, blah, blah. In terms of this whole rotation thing, and again, I'm not advocating really for either side because I can see both sides have got its merit. Do you think, or do any of you guys think, we need to become a bit more settled? This really applies for the attack as well, but for today, in terms of the midfield, do you think we need to become a bit more settled in terms of this is the number 6, this is the left-sided central midfielder, this is the right-sided central midfielder, which I think we already know it's going to be Szoboszlai, or do you think the rotation helps? Please, Diego.
Yeah, I think you just were spot on there. Klopp I don't think he knows what his best team is. I don't think he does. I think there's a lot of question marks on a lot of players. I think, look, a Gravenberch signing, the way I look at it is if Liverpool really wanted him, as in we want him, he's our main guy, the main guy we want, we go and get him really early on in the window and he's there for a full pre-season. That's more opportunistic for me. Endo's another one. Opportunistic. McAllister, because of the I know we got him early, but obviously there was the whole release clause that was available. Do you know what I mean? If it was 70, 80 million, did Liverpool go for McAllister? Maybe not. Do you know what I mean? So it's opportunistic. Szoboszlai is the one where, of course, there's a release clause, but it's a big amount of money obviously on a midfielder. So we spend our money on Szoboszlai, and when you look at the kind of this profile in terms of he's tall, powerful running, progressive, he's got a shot. Obviously, that's something, he adds something extra to our midfield, but he fits the mold of what a Liverpool midfielder is. The others don't really. And I feel as though Klopp doesn't know what he's trying to go with. Now, you couple that with the fact that, Jones has had really good games early on. Obviously started really well. Well, didn't start the season, really, if we're thinking about it, because he didn't start, then he came in, then he obviously had his little injury, then he's been out. All these things coupled with it, you weren't getting the same Jones you were getting on the back end of last season because he's a player I think that needs a lot of games. You've got Szoboszlai, who's obviously the mainstay. McAllister now that's having to go obviously play in the DM role, which we don't know whether that was always the plan or whether he was going to go and play there. Thiago, of course, is out, is injured. They're not his usual type of midfielders, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if a Pep Linders or a George Schmatka are in his ear telling him, look, get this player because we need him for this situation. He's trying to be a bit more open in terms of the type of play he goes for. But I don't think Klopp's convinced on anyone. I mean, we've seen it with Klopp. When he's convinced on a player, it's very difficult to go and change his mind. It's very difficult. As in, you look at Trent, look at Virgil, look at Robbo, look at Alisson, look at Fabinho. When they were Gini Wijnaldum, when they were at the club, if he's convinced on you, you're not coming out of the team for nothing. Hence why Gini Wijnaldum played 98% of all his at the time he was at Liverpool, he played 90% of all games. You've got Virgil that plays between 80 and 90% because of the injury. Robbo's the same. You've got Trent's the same. And if you're fit, you're going to play every single game. The rest of them, obviously including the attack, and we're not going to go talk about that, but a lot of the team, he's not really convinced on, in my opinion. Hence why you're seeing a lot of these rotations, because it's like, he's played well, he's going to play, but then he comes in and he doesn't really do what Klopp wants. So then you're out and he brings this player in and then they don't have a good cameo and then he doesn't know and he tries it in the Europa League, then it works.
and then it doesn't. I think Klopp at his best, he's someone that just plays the same team over and over again. And I know we've criticised him for not rotating or not having a squad to rotate, but that's a couple of games a season. I think what you've seen, and especially from what's delivered for Klopp, has been a team that's got a settled midfield, a team that you can go and just know that that's the starting 11. When we go back to what won us the league, you just knew what the starting 11 was. When you go back to, the City when they were top at their pomp, you knew what that starting 11 was if it was a Champions League final. You even look at them now, with all these changes, you don't know who's really starting, because it's like Pep doesn't know, is it Doku I want on the left or is it Grealish? I'm not too sure yet. So I'd want to go settled. But I know we're top, and I think there's reason for why we're top, and our performances have got us there as well. But yeah, I'd want a more settled midfield, because I think that then aids to the whole system. It aids to everyone knowing where they are. Endo obviously just spoke about before, where he's passed the ball and he gets intercepted and he's like, I thought you were going to be there. That all comes again with repetition and knowing that I'm playing with this guy and building relationships. If you can't build that, then you're always going to struggle, even defensively. Like, you spoke about it. Virgil having multiple partners, I don't think it helps. I really don't think it helps. So, yeah, man.
Can I add to that as well? Apart from three positions in the team, so you got Alisson, Virgil, and Mo.
I was going to say the same thing, bro.
No, go ahead then, bro. I was talking before.
No, because I know you're going to say that apart from 3 positions, the team is pretty settled in what it is. It's the striker, the left-sided 8, and it's kind of everyone else kind of play the same team all the time. Like, he knows we don't know who's going to play that left-sided 8, but Szoboszlai is pretty much going to play all the time. It's kind of been like that. The Nunes thing has changed a little bit, probably because he's probably giving him enough chances. Yeah, I mean, Diaz was cemented on the left until he got injured, and then all the stuff with his family and stuff like that. And then the number 6, which Watari's might have caused a bit more of a problem now that McAllister's been out, because he's had time to embed and see how good he is in that spot. But I do still think that once everyone's fit, it's still going to be McAllister, bro. So then so? Yes. And I only see the positions on the pitch that we don't know, because Robbo's going to play over Shimikas, so we'll know everyone. Yeah. So it's just like the left-sided 8 and the striker, because Salah's playing on the right, Diaz is playing on the left. That's.
But I agree with that.
Yeah.
What we've had is, like, we've seen in the past, like with, you go back to, when Klopp first came, and there might have been whoever's playing in the midfield, and Lallana's playing well, but Hendo's playing garbage, or Emre Can's is in the team, and so you can't come in. They've played no matter what. Like, he's just gone with the same team. With Szoboszlai, we've seen.
I get what you mean. Don't you think it might just be that the fact that you're right, but Klopp might have just changed, bro. Like, from listening to him in the preseason on the podcast and stuff like that, and there was that press conference he had when he was talking about the new midfield and stuff like that, and what he wanted from the other midfield and how it's changed and stuff. It might be the fact that he's realised, because he gave the people that he trusted extra time to do what they can do on the pitch, and that he put all and it's not like they didn't let him down in terms of they wanted to let him down and stuff like that. Their legs were just failing them in certain instances. He's like, okay, I might have to change what I'm doing, because he was trying to take responsibility for it in last season anyway. And not to mention, the season before the World Cup was there, so every team had more games. And then if you listen to all the clubs, all of them were whinging about more games and stuff. So everyone started to rotate more. Obviously, it's more noticeable with Liverpool because it's our team in it. We're watching more, but I think everyone's rotating more. And it might just be him going forward, we've been scarred by so many injuries in the past, whether within a bad season or a season when we're trying to do good stuff. Only really the season when we won the league that everyone stayed fit for most of the season. Maybe I'll just get the kind of profile of players. I know what you're saying about Gravenberch and all these people that they don't fit his normal profile, but again, back to the Genie thing and that. What Klopp sees in these players and brings them in ain't what we see. I don't think he's
for real, bro.
If we see a man doing, I don't know, whatever in midfield is the goal scoring midfielder and that, Klopp's probably seen the defensive side of what he does, and it's like, I'm bringing him in, and that's why when you said that Szoboszlai is his profile of player, because all the games that everyone said Szoboszlai's not been good. If you look at his defensive side in them games, been pretty good, bro. I've seen him get caught up once and that, but apart from that, he's been pretty good. So Klopp might have just changed, bro. He might have just changed, and he probably wants everyone in the midfield to be on par with each other. So when he does rotate, it doesn't affect the way the team is. And the compliment that other people used to give Liverpool and the pundits and stuff was Liverpool's system so good that if you change anyone in that cog in midfield at the time, they'll still go and win the game. And then it was because the move from Marwood, the youth setup's the same, so they can see, and their training is exactly the same. So anyone who goes in that system in the midfield, obviously the attack's completely different. You can't just swap attack to attack. But that might be it. Or I could be wrong.
But do you think Klopp looks at McAllister as a starter, or do you think he looks at him like a filler? And what I mean by that is, like, obviously, I've discussed this on my channel before. Is McAllister the DM that he wants now, and this is what he's going with, or is this just a stopping gap? Because obviously, as Endo alluded to, the way Klopp was talking about Endo was like, we need you, like, very assertive. And look, he made sure he bucked him in that changing room, and he told him why he needs him. He said, yes, do you speak? Oh, amazing. He came out and said, I've wanted this guy and I wanted him. And do you know what I mean, the board didn't allow me to grab this guy, but now I've grabbed him. We've seen before with the likes of Fabinho, Robbo, these players don't come in. But is McAllister now this starting DM that Klopp wants? Or is he just a filler because we've got no one there? And Endo now obviously has gone to Asian Cup. But when Endo comes back, he's the DM because he does what I want in that role in terms of from a defensive aspect. He gives me that 7 out of 10, but stops those fast attacks. If you look at our defensive stats, they're probably a bit better. We might not have someone that can retain the ball as much, but that's where Curtis Jones comes into it. And is McAllister just an option on the bench as opposed to this starter? Because we haven't seen him play in the 8 yet, like ever. We've never even seen an Endo McAllister midfield on a consistent basis where both have been fit, and he said, actually, this is what I'm going to go with. It's always been either or.
Yeah. My belief is that McAllister's a starting 6.
Why do we? How come everyone believes it? Like, so are we just rubbishing Endo's whole last month?
Nah, I'm not rubbishing it at all, bro. It's not based on what I think should happen, because if Wataru's playing the way he is, well then man could go.
What if he wins? Okay, what if he wins the Asia Cup trophy?
Probably
so, which he probably will, because obviously they are the best team in that. And McAllister has a meaty kind of month. Will we not all be calling for, yo, Endo, we need you straight back in? Or do you think just continue to try and...
Of course. That's why there's two things to what Jerry said, because it's like there's what I would want and there's what he would want. Now, ideally, I'm playing with Taru in the 6, and then you can go scrap it out for the number 8 role. So Szoboszlai is the one who's not playing the best at the moment. To play Curtis and McAllister in it, just sort that out.
True.
But there's so many games you get when you're a Liverpool player, when we stay in more trophies and that all that stuff that Klopp said to Wataru, I don't doubt that he was telling the truth, but that doesn't mean it was all for the league. And the only example I can give is we grew up on Manchester United dominating everything, and they would get to these cup games and some of the big cups as well, Champions League and that, and all of a sudden they would just change somebody who would always play in these kind of games, whether it's Fletcher or Shea, whether it's Park.
Park.
And then you're like, why they're playing that guy? And then you realize very fast that's the reason why he's played that guy. And if you play a certain amount of Prem games because of rotation, and then you have all the cups and you're Liverpool, so you're going to be in most of these to the latter parts, you still get enough games in the season. And I think that was the key for it, bro. So it's not that I want him to be some utility man or something like that. It's just that, I don't know, if McAllister can do what Wataru can do, well, then going forward, his progressive play is better than Wataru's. It's not because Wataru's shit. If you notice, he's quite content just doing the basics on it. Really well. I'll get the ball, I'll pass it off, and you lot can do what the rest you want. Sometimes I'm looking at it and I'm like, go on, bro. Like, you got that space, go into it. He's like, nah, I'm not. I'm gonna pass it off. I'm holding this fort here, bro. Because you see, when he does get caught in transition, when it's not his fault, that's when it's not good, because you can't catch no one. But neither can McAllister, to be honest, bro. So you have to figure that out a little bit. But yeah, man, it's up in the air, really.
Do you think it's one of those things that Klopp just fell on, bro? He tried it,
potentially,
and then he was just like, numbers make sense, bro. Because you know these men are analysing it, going, or what we like in the 6. How many tackles has he made? How many progressive passes has he made? Sideways passes, back, whatever it may be. And they're like, the numbers make sense. And then they correlate that to the games we've played in terms of the ones we've won and dominate possession or whatever. And he's like, this is probably not what I wanted to do, because obviously the name was Caicedo we offered for. Whether that was him or not, Lavia we know was another one. Then and then there was obviously names that was thrown out there as well. You had Kone obviously at the start of the season as well that we was looking at.
Yeah.
Maybe he just put him there and he was like, oh, okay, cool. Like this man can hold his own in this midfield area if everyone else do their job. And you know, when Klopp talks about defending, he doesn't just say, oh, it's the midfield or the attack or the defense. He says we need to defend as a team, as a unit. That's the way we need to defend. So I don't think he cares now who's it. He does, obviously, based on your skill sets, but I feel like he's probably not going to look. Maybe he changes his mind. Maybe this month or in the summer, he gets a destroyer of a such sort in there, and then McAllister gets more forward and whatever. But I think he probably just fell on it for a couple of games, and he was like, oh, this is actually quite good. Then they kept going, and it was like, well, we ain't losing with him in there. It's not like we're losing games or we're getting outrun or we're getting outplayed. It's like,
well, if I'm honest, bro, McAllister in the 6, everyone was moaning about him not long ago, innit?
I know I was.
Before he got injured. But before he got injured, the last couple of games before that was when he started to play better, innit? And then obviously Wataru comes in. Before that, some people saying stuff about Wataru as well. So it seems like both of them needed a bit of time to, you know what I mean? Obviously Wataru is the one who plays in the 6 anyway, but they need to acclimatise to what's going on in the Liverpool squad. So for all I know, without that McAllister injury, he could be playing like Wataru now, just based on the amount of games he would have played. And if that happens, and they both get up to a certain level, he's probably going to start McAllister anyway, just because of what he gives going forward. But then it just means that he doesn't have to finish every game. You know what I mean? Not in a dickhead way, not in like our 5 minutes seal the game out. I'm talking about you give 60 minutes of this game. You don't need to play the rest of it. But we've got Europa League and the League Cup and the FA Cup for Wataru to play as well. Everyone's getting their amount of games. And then obviously people like Curtis offer new problems because he's been at the squad. He's been in the squad a while, but there is context to him not reaching the level that everyone thought he was yet, which is injuries and all these different things and stuff like that. And I saw that at the end of last season. I was like, he's going to cause a problem. That's why when we brought the players, me and Endo doing a predictive lineup for the season, I was kind of like being stubborn with the Curtis thing, because I'm like, why does he have to drop out? I know that we got new players and that, but they ain't done anything for the squad yet, and he has. So why is he getting dropped? And it was the same with Nunes. I said like, nah, start Jota because why not? But we'll see, innit, bro?
Yeah, my biggest problem when it comes to, not even problem, but I really think McAllister was, out of everyone in that midfield, was the opportunistic one. It was like they clocked there's an opportunity to grab him, and you grab him because it's 30 M's. When you look at the profile that he's got, even I know Gravenberch was, but Gravenberch is someone that, you know, when you look at just the profile of him, he's tall, he carries the ball really well, he's strong, he's athletic, he can cover ground very, very quickly, right? In transition, Klopp loves the transition and the press, right? Szoboszlai very similar. You have Jones that's very similar, and Elliott that he's a busybody, isn't he? He's already in there, but he's that type of midfielder. Thiago again was the opportunistic one at the time. Like it was like, oh, we can get him on the cheap. It's Thiago. We pick him up. McAllister for me falls into that bracket, because even though yes, he's great on the ball, he's not someone that carries. He doesn't cover ground as quickly as some of those 8s that we've got. Defensively, he's not as switched on as an Endo or what he's Klopp's used to in his 6. Even if you go back to Dortmund, Sven Bender, they were like defensive. They were just all they cared about is defense. He's this kind of like, we've got this player, great, we can use him. We've wanted a player like this anyway, but Thiago's never available to have in our squad. Does he necessarily start in our team? No. But again, he's the player, as we discussed, that we can bring on in certain games because we need a certain player. And if we're in Europe, we might want to go and play a different style, type of way. But I think when Klopp looks at that kind of like, you know, if Jones is playing a 10 out of 10 performance and Szoboszlai is playing a 10 out of 10 performance, and even Gravenberch, if he's playing a 10 out of 10 performance, and Endo, a 10 out of 10 McAllister, I don't think he fits what Klopp envisages in a midfield. I think we were in a situation where we had to go and play someone in the 6, and who fits that role a bit more. McAllister, because he can be a bit more reserved. He's not going to cover as much ground as a Jones in terms of pressing really high and then sprinting back to go and get it. You're going to gas McAllister out really, really quickly because we don't keep the ball as well as a Brighton or as well as a City, or in the same way, should I say, not as well. When I look at McAllister, that's what I'm looking at, and I'm like, okay, which leads me to believe if we are actually linked with this 6 that we're supposed to be getting, whoever it is, there's links with this Friendrip guy from Genoa, or Kone's now in talks, or Liverpool were looking to get Lavia and Caicedo. Like, had we got Lavia and Caicedo, where does McAllister fit into this team? Because with a Lavia and Caicedo would have cost a lot of money, not like an Endo. So they definitely be starting. Szoboszlai starting. He's now fighting with Jones for that role. And if we look at what Jones offers in that 8, it's very different to what McAllister does. And it probably fits what Klopp wants to do more. Hence why he's playing a lot more games right now if we're looking at it in that role as well. Interesting one though. A very interesting one.
Can I make a quick point, G, just before you move on?
Yeah.
Obviously, just to go back just quickly, in terms of the goalkeeper, you got Alisson, Virgil, Mo. You'd probably say, apart from them, Liverpool's never been in a position where all the other players in the team are pretty much the same in terms of no one's setting the world alight, but no one's really doing poor. They're all like fighting for a position. If you look back at the old team, Henderson, who competed with Henderson for his role? No one really. Who competed?
We had Lallana, but he was injured. We had Naby, he was injured. Chamber, he was injured.
You mean like that? You knew if Hendo was having a stinker, this man would step in.
It was Chamberlain until you got the injury, because remember Hendo was on the bench for that. Like it was. Chamberlain
they changed the system slightly to put Ox in, and then Ox took it with an open arm. But I mean, like no one was coming in for Hendo. As soon as Hendo was back fit, I'm talking about prime Hendo. No one was taking his position. No one's taking his position, even if he had someone there. Genie, no one was taking his position. And I think this is the first time we've been in a position where the players ain't as like, because Ox was good. Obviously, the injuries set him back. Naby, he was good, but the injuries as well. But now we're in a position where all the players in the team, apart from those, from Ali to Virgil to Salah, they can compete for a position in the team. No one cemented down a position, go, no, that is mine. You ain't having this position, bro. This is mine. People have had good moments, or maybe like a couple of months where they've been good, but no one's nailed down position. And I feel like this is the best moment for us, because now they're all hungry, they're all young, they're all going to compete, they all want that position. Like Robbo now can't wait to get back, because he's probably happy Tsimikas is injured. Not in a bad way, but he's like, this man carried on playing that way, bro. I'm not getting my position back, because Klopp ain't just giving man their positions back like that. You have to now earn it. And I feel like the rest of the mandem as well, man, they're just fighting for a position. And I love it, bro. Honestly, I love it. I love that they're fighting for a position.
No, listen. I agree with that.
Do you think a lot of them are fighting, or do you think some of them are becoming a bit comfortable?
Bro, them man, they're fighting, bro. Apart from Verge, Ali, and Mo, them man, they're comfortable still. Man, they're like,
No, but I think I've got a feeling.
But even Gomez, this is man, like drop Trent out right back and put Gomez in there.
No, it's true. No, it's true. Gomez is really good.
Trent played right back.
Gravenberch is the one for me when I look at and I feel like, could you do more?
Could you do 100%. More? Yeah, 100%.
Like for me, he's looking like the guy now where he's just like, I don't want to use it, but those Origi vibes where he's coming on and there's just no emotion. It's like, yeah, I'm coming on in it. I'm just gonna do my thing, and then
that's
if
only
I don't, it's calm.
That's only been in the last, you'd say, few weeks.
3-4 games, like in the last 3. We've
had a lot of games in the long period, because the long period part. I always go by the long period into the short one, because the short one was he got injured before he got that injury. Oh, we thought it was a hamstring. He was cold. He was playing really well.
That was back when he was Yaya Toure 2.0.
Yeah. And then he got
who said that?
And then everyone. It was all over the internet,
bro. The space of time hasn't been that long. He had the injury, suspected injury, when it was fatigue. It was a week off. He came on against Arsenal, did not play well at all. But I'm looking at the manager going, oh, we kept the ball well. We need a progressor now because we want to go and win the game. We put him on. It's not his fault. The manager's fault it didn't work. And Gravenberch should have took the opportunity, but caveat, context, he just came back from an injury. Cool. Didn't do well. Since then, Curtis has just, gathered momentum, and he's now got that position cemented to a point. But yes, Gravenberch can do more. But if we're going to use a space of like 2 weeks to say he ain't good enough, that is madness to me, because before that, they were telling me he should be starting.
No. I mean, look, I will caveat it. I'm not saying he's not good enough, and I've always said I think Jones should be starting. I've always advocated that. But with Gravenberch, this is my point: is that it's quite early on, and this is where I'd want you in your career, where you're desperate to any moment you're trying to go and perform. And you know, like when Szoboszlai came into the team, you could see he was just like desperate. And even when he's playing poorly, you can see in his like energy efforts and his levels where he's just like trying to defend and he's doing everything like 100 miles an hour because he's like, yeah, I really want to perform. Gravenberch, as of late, I'm not saying the decline's like this in terms of his output or what he's trying to do, but even like this, that little steep bit, I'm thinking, this is not the time to go and do it because not only do we need you, everyone's coming back and they're going to be fit. So you're now fighting with Bajcetic. Thiago's coming back. We've got McAllister. When Endo comes back, yeah,
makes it better, bro.
But to the top.
Here's the thing, though. He didn't have a preseason with us as well, man. He had the Bayern preseason. Didn't have a Liverpool.
No, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't.
We know that's a different level of preseason, bro. That's 3 sessions a day for some mad reason. 2 sessions. What man? In with the nights with the head flashlights.
Trent told us, man. Trent told us the reason why, bro. He said, "Yo, when he gets to the latter part of the season, when everyone's dying, we'll be fit, ready, bro." But he's right. You're right, man. Like, bro, ask Ends, bro. Bro, nothing but praise for Gravenberch. But every time we did a preview and a prediction, Ends was like, "You think it's time for Gravenberch?" Start said, "Nah." I said to start him in the. I didn't want him in the league yet because I just knew that we're watching the games and there's a certain minute where he starts to look a bit tired, which means it's nothing to do with his talent. He just needs to get up to speed. So I'm like, play him in Europa League games, a little bit less pressure there. You know what I mean? And you build more confidence, which he was doing anyway. But as soon as he came to the league games and then people got injured and he was playing the whole game, and I'm like, okay. But let's be honest, man. Them have been pretty harsh on him because the Arsenal game was the one where everyone all of a sudden had an issue. Like, he came on and he came on. It's because Curtis was playing good, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then he came on, and I'm like, okay, it's hindsight at the end of the day, bro. Gravenberch's been playing good, so
yeah,
to bring on someone who's going to be a bit more progressive at this point, because the West Ham performance that Curtis had, and then the performance that he was having in that game, he was still good in the game, but he wasn't being as progressive. But Ryan, that's what he does, isn't it? So I'm like, okay, there's 25 minutes left in the game. He brings Ryan on, it's going to cause them problems. And then his passing was off a little bit and his positioning was off, but he needs to become accustomed to the rest of the team. And obviously, I'm going to give him time, but I don't. Some people, it's what G said about the flip-flopping, man. Some people are just pointing out certain things, which is normal. You should, you know what I mean? That's what we do as football fans. But some people are just like, he's shit and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? I don't know about that, bro. But,
do you know what it is, bro? Are you, when people say that, are you using your own words, or are you just picking up what everyone else is saying and then running with it? Because I always wanted to know that. Are we saying the man is shit because we think he's shit, or are we just running?
No, I just said I don't think he's shit. I said
no, not us. I'm not saying us. I was just saying in a broad.
Oh, the other people.
I always want to know what it is.
There is a caveat to what people say, because we know that, no disrespect to that, but the internet's full of people who just follow other people's. Yeah, you know what I mean, I'll see something on Twitter in the morning. By the time we get to the evening, everyone's saying it in the chat, and I'm like, "Oh, you think this super chat's original? Do you? It's not, bro. I saw it on Twitter earlier, bro. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Our fan base is extreme, isn't it, bro? Nah, how you go from Yaya Toure to get him out of the club, bro, in 4 weeks?
And this is why I've said it. The flip flopping thing, and like I said, last season people weren't even flip flopping as much as they're flip flopping now. And last season we finished fifth. And people weren't even trying to, like, the whole, and I don't want to disrespect you, Savage, and I'm trying to say this as kindly as possible.
If you're gonna
but last season, when Endo wasn't performing, yes, I know people were obviously towards the end anyway. People were like, "Nah, we need to get this guy out. He can't run." But that was because it was becoming very evident of the situation and stuff like that. No problem. But in terms of like other players, I never heard the flip flopping for like other players within the team in terms of like, yeah, well, no, this guy needs to play. No, he's shit. No, this guy needs to play once he's played a good game. Like the flip flopping this season for a team who are top of the league, who are through to the next round of the Europa League, and I'll keep saying it, through to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, and they've got the FA Cup to come this weekend. The way that we change is crazy, bro.
I heard Nunes reminds everyone of Torres. I heard that.
Don't even listen. That's coming tomorrow. That's coming tomorrow.
2.0, and I heard Hungarian Steven Gerrard. How a man gone from that to get him out my club? I don't get it, bro.
Big up Hakeem. Big up Hakeem. Fans are just bored. We are maybe because you know when we were shit like last season and the results weren't coming. Obviously, there was so many things to talk about. Like we could spend 10 hours a day talking about Liverpool every day, and there's 7 days in a week. So you know what I mean. You do the maths. But now we're good. Yeah, I mean, and it's all about Nitpicking. And again, like I said, I do the same thing. I'm not trying to say I'm exempt from this whole thing. I do the same thing at times when you're nitpicking at little things, and maybe it's like, you know, with your child, like with your children, you know, you're kind of like, they're doing good, but you're almost like, nah, man, like you can get an A next, you can get an A* next time. These times he's been getting 5 A's in a row. But you know what I mean? Like, well, let me just be happy that he's even getting the 5 A's in the first place, and then over time, maybe in the final exam, the final test that he's got to do, maybe he will get that A*, because he's obviously been putting in the A's anyway, kind of thing. Again, it's not that I'm not trying to say to anybody in the chat or anybody on the panel, I'm not saying you can't nitpick, because of course there are bits of the team that we do look at, and we need to. As I said, that the screw's a bit loose in some areas. It's just not tight enough. As soon as it gets a bit tighter, you'll see that this thing is built completely differently. But it might fall down at the same time. But on the flip side, it is a little bit like, yeah, but he's patched it up. You know what I mean? And they're doing, you know, a good enough job. But I wanted to move on to the next one. And to be honest, but and big up everybody in the chat. Make sure you're smashing them like buttons as well. It's actually pinned a really good conversation. The points that we've touched on. Some of the points that I wanted to touch on, but this is how I know it's a really good conversation. One of the other things I wanted to speak about was who you guys think has been almost like a surprise package for us. I probably know the answer, but I want you guys to really think about it in a sense of like, who's really impressed you, considering these are all new players in a new team, a whole new midfield. It ain't, like I said before, this isn't like a situation where couple men have come in and we still got Henderson, Fabinho, Thiago still fit, and they're just kind of being drip fed, which is what I think everybody wanted us to do back in the summer, is just drip feed these guys in. Who's kind of, you know, surprised you or impressed you, you know, the most this season? And again, this is a free for anyone.
Mine is structure in it, so let me just go in and use two because
mine's going to be boring as hell.
Mine's no one, bro.
Okay,
honestly, no, bro, no, and because you said who surprised me and what everyone. You've either done what I thought you was gonna do.
I said, "Go away, bruv."
No one's gone beyond what I thought they could do yet.
I hear it.
So they've all been decent to really good, but no one's gone above that yet. So no one surprised me.
Yeah. Bro, I was gonna just say all of them to be not surprise me, but I think they're just all doing what.
You're just a lover of all. You're just a
it's not that, bro. Because I said it was gonna be boring, bro. They ain't surprised me. I know how good they can be, and I know they're not at that level yet, and I know they're probably gonna get there at some point. It's just whether the system's gonna suit them to get them to that top level, or I don't know. We just slightly change or tweak something, and then we get the best out of them. I don't know, but I think they just all kind of they've stepped in for each other, man, and you've kind of got the good, the bad, and the ugly at the same time. They've all had poor parts, they've all had good parts, they've all had like amazing, and they've had balanced moments where they've been consistent for like a month. You know, Szoboszlai, really great. The first 3, you say 4 months into the season, 5, you probably touch on the 5th month. Cold. You'd probably say it's the last month, maybe month and a week or so. He's not been up to his normal level, but he's still been consistent in terms of the defensive outputs, and he's still chipped in here or there with a goal or whatever. Yeah. Curtis as well, he started off the season okay, and then he had a little blip in there, had an injury, came back in but a bit rusty. And then now he's kind of like getting his his consistency again. Gravers as well, when he came in, you know, the Everton game, bro, he bossed that whole game for us. People won't probably remember that, but just in general, and then he's had a down part now where he's not at his standards that he kind of gave us an idea like, oh shit, you can play like this. But at the same time, people have to understand we've now got midfielders that team are like worried about, so they're not going to allow us to just play the way we want to play. So originally, when they're like, I don't know what Szoboszlai can do, yeah, bro, we won't really mark him or press him or close him down. Now they're like, oh, so this brother can shoot from wherever. Nah, close this man down. Can't allow this man to Gravenberch like to turn and drop the shoulder. And we'll just sit deeper, bro. No space for you now. Curtis as well, they're trying to double up on him to make sure they get him off the ball because they know he can keep the ball and whatever. McAllister at the start, they're like, but this small man in the 6, bro, we're just gonna bully him. And until we start turning man out their skin, dropping a few shoulders, they're like, okay. So now you've seen he's getting more time on the ball than what he probably was at the start of the season. But I think they just all been as good as bad as each other, to be fair, man.
Actually, one surprise. Harvey Elliott.
I hear it.
Because I already know how good he can be. But it felt like, with what Jay was saying about everyone not being cemented in their spot and all this, it felt like Harvey was the one who was, by default, just going to get relegated to being on the bench. Like, no matter what happens.
I thought so.
The thing is, everyone sees that as a bad thing, and then the people go, "Well, you lack ambition if you don't leave the club." But every club has bench players, bro. Like, they can't do anything about it. Someone's going to be on the bench. So I just assume that the way all these midfielders are coming in and stuff like that, how's he going to impact the game coming off the bench when you got 20 minutes on the pitch at a time? He's done really well, bro. He's done really, bro. Like, normally I'm like, okay, he's gonna add to the game and stuff like that. Be safe, pass the ball to Salah, make sure, you know what I mean, work his socks off and that. It's been really good, bro. He's impacted the game in positive ways, bro. You know what I mean? In goals and assists and stuff like that. And I'm happy for him as well, bro. And I remember they asked him in the West Ham preview, or the Europa League preview, in the conference about him being a sub and that, and he was like, listen, he's like, I'm here to work for the team. I'll do whatever the club needs to be doing, stuff like that. But I don't like the super sub thing.
Who does that? I guess,
And I liked it, man, because he's basically saying, like, I'll come off the bench if I have to and do whatever. He said that normally he's watching the game from the bench and he's not just watching what Liverpool's doing, he's watching the other team to see where they're good at and what mistakes, or if they're doing something good, can I replicate it? And then he comes on the pitch, and that's why he comes on, and it doesn't seem like he needs 10, 20 minutes to get into the game. He's just in the game straight away. And I think it's very useful, man, because when you've got that and loads of cup games as well, it means that he can still develop, have enough games, score goals, and try and force his way into the team. And whether it happens or not, he's going to have to push the people on the pitch, on it. Because otherwise, it means that other midfielder can have stinkers and know that, my place is safe. But now Harvey's playing good, so he's the surprise. But apart from that, everyone else, nah.
It really is an add percentage to that as well in terms of, I see the age category for these, man. Add percentage to that as well, man. Cold, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think for me, I know I'm biased, but I'm going to take this. The reason why I say surprise package is I didn't believe Jones would get the amount of minutes in game time that he has done. I think with the signings that came in, looking at Szoboszlai, obviously gravenberch, having Thiago in the team, Bajcetic as well in this six. Then you had obviously McAllister. It just looked like, and I was like, I'm a massive fan, but I was like, Liverpool might as well just cash in on this brother. Just try and get as much, like, especially after the Euros he had. Just try and get as much money as you can from him, because he's not going to play. Like, Klopp just doesn't rate him. He's played a lot of games. Like, he's it's the first season where, like, big games, he's playing in these big games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Tottenham played, Arsenal played, City played. Do you know what I mean? Like, United played. Like, he's so actually he didn't because he was injured. But, like, that's what I'm saying. He's playing in the big games because Klopp must rate what he's doing right now. Or maybe last season's the thing that kind of changed his mind. So for me, I was just surprised at how well he's not how well he's done, because I know he had it, but I'm surprised at the fact that he's in the team as much as he is, considering we signed 2 players. I mean, for a player like him, imagine after that back in the season how well you had that. You got your contract extension, and the club go and sign 2 midfielders that could play in your position.
It must be like, what on?
And bear in mind, before the obviously selling Fabinho and Thiago, you're looking at it thinking like, I'm definitely not getting in. Like, where's the spot? I'm also fighting with Elliot, who seems to be like Klopp's like favorite player. Like, he likes Elliot a lot. I'm just not going to go and get in, but he's managed to obviously keep his place in there. So even, on the days that we might be looking at it saying, Curtis Jones has had a poor game, it might be that same thing as you said with Szoboszlai, where statistically it might be really, really good, but we're not obviously privy to all the analysis and all the stats in terms of what Jones does. It's only when he's having a really good game and scores a goal or plays an outside of the foot pass that people are like, Then they start to delve into the other stats, and then you find out, he doesn't lose the ball and he wins his duels and does all that type of stuff. So
Curry's got a great attitude, man. They asked him about the new players coming in, and he's like half the competition, but these men are, you know what I mean? Man are growing into man. Like, there were young boys in it, people like the kids and all that stuff. They're not the kids anymore, bro. So it's that part in your career, in it, where you try and advance in the squad you're in, or you move on. And for me, bro, he is the most important midfielder, bro.
Facts.
Yeah, he said about his maturity as well, didn't he? In the podcast, he was like, one thing he's done this season is he's matured massively. Yeah. He looks at the game different now. And
I think it's cold, bro. He's the perfect Klopp midfielder, bro.
That's what. That's that. Like, and Please continue.
Oh shit,
That was my net. That was no. That's also a perfect segue. Who do you guys think? Obviously, I know Savage, and please continue on. Who do you think is our most important midfielder? Because ultimately, as I mentioned before about the whole rotation stuff, we have been rotating players regardless of who's been playing well at times. And I know we maybe at the beginning of the season tried to keep it a little bit settled, and then as I said, the Elliots, the Gravenberches, the Endos, they start to come into the picture because they start playing well, kind of thing. And then we've seen them have a run of games, and now we're like. And by the way, just on that last topic that we just talked about, the surprise package, I'm so happy that I got you three on, because I thought the answer was I didn't think, but I was hoping the answer was not going to be Endo. And the only reason why I didn't want it to be Endo was because I know that everybody would choose Endo because, one, it's the recency bias that people always go with. And it's always like, can we think, as Enz just said, instead of the short term, can we look long term, please? Because it's not short term will give you, the easy answers now. But when we're looking over a full season, we can't possibly have said, he's the better player or whatever. He's been really, really good now. But we can't say that he was good at the beginning because he wasn't playing at the beginning. So it's difficult to really judge it in that kind of sense. But I was just praying that someone wasn't going to say Endo, and thank God you all chose like different kind of players. But yeah, on to this point, man. Savage, please continue, man. Our most
I think he's the most important player, bro. Never too shy about saying it, to be honest, bro. Obviously, sometimes people make their analysis on it. I just have to say it because I know there's context to everything with him, but it always feels like, oh yeah, he's been at the club this long and he's not done. And then when I break down the context to people and that, they don't know what to say, bro. He's settled in the club now. He's perfect for Klopp. He follows instructions well, and there's only certain parts of it, like little bits of his game that he needs to like polish off. And he's almost completing what he does, bro. I think the decision making and the final pass isn't perfect yet, but that's more of a confidence thing and just knowing that, I mean, sometimes with midfield, it's not the fact that they haven't passed the ball to someone. It's the fact that keep the ball yourself, bro, and go forward with it. There's this big space and you're trying to play this ball, but ain't gonna make it. His press is the best in our squads, and he starts to press it every time, bro. And yeah, the recoveries from the kid, I think he's so cold, bro. And as long as he doesn't get too, which is natural, but when you're feeling yourself on the pitch and that, bro, and the confidence is building, you can just start doing madness on it. Like you start trying to back Yoli out from like the corner flag and that.
Reminds me of one player in our pro club scene that does that.
Who in your pro club scene does all of that? Savage, it better not be you, bro.
It's not me, bro. I literally do no skills, bro.
Okay, cool. No, but that's good. I'm happy you even said that anyway, because I'm tired of man saying, yeah, man, got bare skills. I don't care about your skills. Are you scoring? Are you doing your job?
And I told you about your man management skills. Why are you trying to throw our players under the bus, bro?
I don't know, boy.
I swear I'm more harsher on our pro club team than I am on Liverpool.
Yeah, he is.
That's a game. That's a game. This ain't real life.
But yeah, man, Curtis is adding goals and assists now, which was the next level for him to step up to in terms of input. But yeah, for me, bro, he's the balance of our squad, bro. And as I said earlier, I understand when new names come in and that's exciting. Don't get me wrong, I'm not like against it. I like these players as well, bro. You know what I mean? Gravenberch was the wonder kid. I remember. I wanted him from way back.
Yeah,
but you have to take it for what's going on now in your club. You can't just look at the names, bro. You know what I mean? You get lost in what's going on then. Who's playing the best? Who offers the most to the club? Who, when he plays, makes the club more balanced and that for the other midfielders, the attack and the defense? And you see for Curtis, bro, the left side plays way better when Curtis is on the pitch as well. So it's not just him affecting his own game. The person who's playing left back plays better. The person who's playing left wing plays better when he's there as well. He'll defend when he needs to. He's not gun-ho in terms of I just want to attack only. You know what I mean? If anything, he'll defend first. And yeah, man, Rev, that's my guy, bro. And he just got to stay fit. Luckily for him, he doesn't have injuries where it's like, oh, he's got a reoccurring knee injury. It's all like weird injuries and up and down and stuff like that. And normally it's brought on by somebody else. So he seems all right, bro. And he seems confident in himself now. I don't think he feels like a bit part player. I don't think he feels like a child.
Definitely.
He's before this season, him and Elliot, if I'm correct, I don't remember any press conference where they spoke before a game. Now all of a sudden these men are just talking like the Virgil and that. So Yeah,
But I guess even just before both ends and JJ, you guys go for your most important player. I think even what you just said there, Savage, about the way that these two, of course, look, and hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, when these guys were coming into the squad, especially say more Curtis Jones, because obviously he was here before. When we looked at Jones, the original position that we looked at Jones was obviously he played off that left / can play in the attacking position, blah blah blah. But we had Sadio Mane there, so Sadio Mane there, best one of, if not the best left wing in the world. So for you to come in and overtake, you probably had to be Neymar regen anyway, kind of thing, in order for you to even think about taking over. And I think where people, myself included, was getting a little bit frustrated was that I never ever felt that Klopp was giving him the game time, and I never thought it was going to come. So then you're like, all right, then you shove this guy into midfield. So then I'm just like, are you trying to do what you were trying to do? Again, hindsight, what you've tried to do with Carvalho, which is, we can't put you in that position. We're going to put you in this position. He can't really play that position at that time. Anyway, Jones wasn't looking too great in that position. Obviously, he needed time to build. So then I was just thinking, bro, like, you're ruining this, brother. Like what's going on? Obviously, hindsight, look at him now, blah, blah, blah. But it was, I just felt like it wasn't ever going to come. And that's what was frustrating me, because I said, bro, Jones is actually sick. Like, I never ever thought Jones wasn't good. I always thought, this brother is sick with the skill set that he's got. But if you ain't playing him, then you might
know the one time with the context though with him playing. That's another thing, man. Because even it's what I thought anyway. But when I looked at it, the most games Jones was playing was the season when we won the league the season before, and then the second season everyone got injured in it. That's the season when Jones played the most games. So when you think of the season before, makes sense that he's not playing in the title winning season as much. Cemented team, you ain't got time to be chopping and changing, bro. Next season he gets the games. That's the same season where COVID started properly, and then he had the eye injury, then came back, then got another. Then he got COVID. Then the season was done. The season after that was we won the FA Cup and the League Cup, and we played in nearly every game and stuff like that. Again, they were on their last legs, but we damn near got to the last game of every competition as well. So and he was
literally every we played every single match that's available to you.
Exactly, and then the season after that was last season, where he would play him if he was available, but he wasn't all the time. And then season after that's now. So remember, once he got fit last season, played him in every game, which was towards the end of the season. I think it was like 10 games in a row. And then it's coming to this season, same thing, injury and a red card. But now he's back, bro. So maybe it looks worse than it is, but I do get what you mean. If you're not going to get the game time, you know what I mean? You want to see more from him. That listen, man, luckily for the kid, he's mature enough. And now he's about now and he's still young, so that's good.
Do you know, I'd probably say, you know what? From a system, I think McAllister is
our most important player.
In terms of the midfield in the system that we want to play.
Sorry,
he obviously he normally starts from him because he gets it up to centre back. So you turn, probably keep it simple, attract everyone onto him. And once he turns, it's always about what pass does he make. Is it a simple pass or is it a pass to get us in the attacking tendency? And he always plays the right pass. Like I've seen games where he hasn't, but most of the time he plays the right pass. And he has got a long range. He's got short range. He can keep it simple. He can play the 1-2s. He'll draw fouls. He'll draw multiple players towards him as well. And if he gets out of that, then it opens the game up a lot. And I think that's probably another. You know what I was saying about Klopp stumbling on him playing in the 6. He probably just threw him in there for the time being. It was like, oh shit, the numbers make sense. I feel like he's say the most important because they're all important as each other. But from the system standpoint, I feel like, yeah, man, he's that guy in there still. Because even when he came on against Newcastle and then he dropped the shoulder, don't know who he turned. We won the ball back, got the ball, dropped the shoulder, and played an outside of the foot pass to run through. I'm like, Wataru could probably do that, but I don't think he'll just probably keep it simple and tick it over one more time.
He will keep it simple. Yeah.
But just to have him in there to go, nah, I've got the vision, I've got the idea. Let me play that pass. I'm not saying the other midfielders can't do it, but he's very important, man. It's like a quarterback in it, but he just picks and chooses the moments that he needs to play. But I think in terms of the system, I think he's the most important at the moment.
JJ, chat to me, man. Most important midfielder.
I still think it's Jones. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a fan of I'm a fan. I hear what Endo's saying, and I like that type of midfielder a lot. I think Thiago offered that for us a lot last season, obviously season before when he was available. Yeah, I don't think. I think McAllister's good. I don't see him getting great. I don't see him. I just don't see it from him. I think he's got ability, no doubt. I think when you talk about, I said, playing a short pass, playing a long pass, I think he's a very steady Eddie, and having him in the squad is good. I don't see the hype around him personally. I never have really. Like when I looked at Brighton, I always looked at Pascal Gross as someone that I thought was the better midfielder, but he was just older, if that makes sense. I looked at Pascal Gross in terms of what he offered. It was like, okay, I really like him. You know, can play everywhere across the pitch. For me, a very weird one. I actually think, even though I want to say it's Jones, I think it's actually Szoboszlai. And the reason is he's allowed Klopp to unleash Trent while still being able to go and do the hard running, even if that's at the bare minimum. I think that was the area of the pitch that we were looking at and thinking, boy, Henderson not doing that means that Trent's being exposed. Him not being able to do this means that, do you know what I mean, Trent can't get forward. Salah hasn't got any support. No one's making the overlapping runs. I remember I went to watch the West Ham game at the Olympic ground last season, and Thiago came on, and Thiago was having to do the Henderson role. He was running around, making overlapping runs to stretch the pitch for Salah, and I was like, this is crazy. I was like, if this is what we're going to do, I was like, we're going to be in the mud. Szoboszlai's come in and had that, and then on top of that, he can chip in with a goal because he can hit a ball from long distance, and his ability to travel with the ball is so far superior to what Henderson had. Even now, you go and look at the goal we scored against Newcastle the other day. He gets the ball, travels with it, he wins it, travels with it, gives it to Diaz, and then Diaz is able to skip inside and find Nunes that plays the pass into Salah. Before, we wouldn't have had that transitional part.
Hey, Jerry, man, why you have to use words like superior, bro? It's just a bit...
superior.
That does not want those names slandered,
bro. I'm like,
he was better. Yeah, he was better. Like, bear in mind, I'm a Hendo fan, but I think his ability,
you're right, man.
Szoboszlai's ability to run with the ball is just much, much better than it is, and he could do it at a faster pace.
No. You don't need to change much better. Superior is a far better word. Continue.
But it enables Klopp to execute what he likes, which is why he signed Naby Keita, why he signed Oxlade-Chamberlain, why he had Lallana when he had legs and he was fit, because they can cover ground.
Lallana was so cold, man. I wish that brother never was injury prone.
Cover ground really fast, and play that transitional game. Liverpool are at their best in transition. It's not when we've got the ball. It's not like when we've got to break someone down. It's how quickly can we get from A to B? It's the vertical passes. And if we can do that as quickly as possible and in as little passes as possible, that's what Klopp loves, and that's what Szoboszlai gives us. I think he's the most important, hence why he plays every single game, no matter what's going on. I think if he doesn't play, then you're having to move Jones onto the right, which then affects his ability to do what he wants to do, which is obviously cutting in on that right and just keeping the ball in that area. McAllister's got to play there then, or whoever, and then they're doing that role for Trent to be this mad creator and the main guy in our system. So I think it's Szoboszlai personally.
Yes, good shot, man. Yeah, Lallana was cold though.
Listen.
He come on with his black gloves the other day for the Brighton game, bro, in the second half. Cold, bro.
Who was he shouting at, bro? Because man was getting the information, and then the other Donny was taking bare loads.
Black gloves Lallana is a serious guy, bro. And for somehow Milner's gone to Brighton and got 5 years younger, bro. So I don't know what happened there.
Again,
I'm playing left wing, left back.
Savage. One word. Run. You don't have to run anymore, bro. They've got the ball. They've got the ball. He's not forced to do this transition thing. That's why I go to Szoboszlai. He can just walk around, get the ball, run when he has to. At Liverpool, you're running sometimes.
Really rolling back the years, man. Big him up still.
Bro, like honestly, 16, 17, look, I don't, and I know this is a little bit off topic, but I don't think man understand. I thought Lallana was cold, bro. Like,
that Southampton.
Quote toning for fun.
Listen, that Southampton team, it seemed at one point that every single one of them had tech. Every single one of them. Lambert, Lallana,
in that Southampton team versus Brighton of last season, who wins?
Southampton team.
I feel like
the
it's Southampton team.
Bro, they
It's
just
just,
had
they had Virgil
Gunman
as well. Like, yeah.
Gunman in there was mad.
Mane.
Who was up front for that? Oh, Mane. Yeah,
No, Lallana.
yeah.
No. It was Lambert was up front for them. That's it.
And then Jay Rodriguez on it.
Jay
Yeah.
Rodriguez. That's the brother. I was
Jay
thinking.
Rodriguez.
Jay fucking Rodriguez. But he was
Rodriguez on the
balling at
left,
Southampton.
Lallana in the 10.
Mm.
Yeah, it was Jay Rodriguez on the left, Lallana on the
You
10.
see her in that team?
Yes.
He used to come off the bench, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the
How did Southampton? Sorry, I know this is going to topic. But how the fuck did Southampton get all of these defenders, bro? You had Jose Fonte, Dejan Lovren, Virgil van Dijk, Yoshida.
It's Fonte. No, because their scouting system was ridiculous. Don't you
Yeah,
remember?
it was.
Dejan Lovren. Lovren was
Yeah,
there.
we just robbed their
slapped
players,
him from there.
Yeah.
Nah, I need to see
For
that
a
team,
while,
you
they
know.
had the best like scouting system and like youth team.
Yeah, man, I told you
Yeah.
that the other day, bro. That I love Lovren and
Luke
that, bro.
Luke
but
Shaw.
Font was the one. Yeah, Luke Shaw as well, man. Fucking hell.
When he wasn't, you know, I'm saying a bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Looking like a Trafalgar Square pigeon and that, bro. Before them times.
Bro, what? That's a Trafalgar Square pigeon, you know.
Hold on, I only see
Nah.
this team. I want to see this team quickly before we move on. I just want to read it off.
Yeah, like like honestly, like I'm just thinking about it now. Like I'm just sitting there thinking, brother, like,
Oh my
usually-
god.
Oh my god! They had no.
Oh, I think we're both the same thing.
No. What season did
Lallana
what
joined
was-
us in 15-16.
So 14-15 it was. Okay, I thought
Oh
so.
no.
Talking Pochettino's thingy, innit?
Lallana joined us in 14-15 because 13-14 we almost won the league. He joined us
Klopp
that
got there in
summer.
15 and he was
Alright.
in
Lambert.
So
Yeah.
13-14, yeah, 13-14. Let me see this team.
Yeah, no, they had some. Yeah,
I know we're off topic, but you just got me, bruv. That was my career mode team.
Nah, man,
Kelvin
ahead.
Davies, Nathaniel Klein, Maya Yoshida,
Klein.
Morgan Schneiderlin. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
Morgan
Morgan Schneiderlin.
Schneiderlin. I forgot about it.
Dejan Lovren, Jose Font, Ricky Lambert, Stephen Davies, Jay Rodriguez, Gaston Ramirez, Victor Wanyama,
Ramirez.
James
Ramirez.
Hold on. James Ward-Prowse, Jack Cork, Adam Lallana, Julie Duprado, Callum Chambers, Luke Shaw, Paolo
Callum
Gazzaniga,
Chambers when he was at Southampton.
Boruts,
Yeah.
Jason McCarthy, Matt Target, Harrison Reed, Sam Gallagher, Danny Osvaldo, Emmanuel Mayuka, Lloyd Isgrove. You're getting me excited again, man. Mad. But Morgan Schneiderlin, what a player. What a player.
No,
at
he's
Skinny
Southampton.
with Man United, bro. They just ruined him, bro.
But it's ruined, man, bruv. Like, what? Like, how can you ruin such a good player, bro?
He went to like Hull and then Middlesbrough. Or something
Yeah.
like that, bro.
Just
Yeah,
disappeared off
Middlesbrough.
the planet.
And Gaston Ramirez, listen, when we were...
Thank you, Sophia. Thank you for ruining a good player.
You lot
When
massive lot, man.
Liverpool were linked with Gaston Ramirez, I think I watched a compilation every single day.
Like,
Yeah, he was
Every
on.
single
He was on.
day.
He was on.
I
I've
thought,
had the
yes,
squad
we
then.
bagged him.
We were getting Stephen
Just-
Corker them days, isn't it? Man, them.
No,
Yeah.
we weren't even getting that. We weren't even getting that season. That was Brendan Rodgers. We were getting Balotelli.
It was
And,
bad, yes, because it was 14-15. Yeah, just after
We
Suarez.
were getting
left, yes, yes.
Balotelli and flipping, what's his name? Markovic and that.
Just before we move on, 13-14 Southampton or 2021 Leicester.
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 Yeah, nah, that team
You might have said that quick. You might have said that
No,
quick.
bro. When you got Akazaki
But
running
they
around,
won the league, to be fair. They won the league. so,
Akazaki
yeah,
used to just run off the bench.
he had bare energy, boy. Bro.
One goal,
Just
2 goals.
Bare
one goal.
headers. Bare
Yeah,
headers.
one goal.
Man.
Right.
Yeah, that Leicester team was cold. That's why I said the other day,
Drinkwater
when G was on, I said, like, I'm not having this Leicester winning the league was a fluke business. No, it wasn't.
No,
Leicester
that wasn't a
was
fluke, brother. Yeah,
What,
yeah.
Drinkwater
They
and
played
Kante in
too
the
well that
midfield,
season.
bro.
No, but it was, man. But it was that. Think
Riyad
about the
Mahrez on the
defense. They
right.
had Wes Morgan, Danny Simpson. Who
Not
else was at the
fluke,
back
bro.
for them?
They played out their skin, man.
Bro,
No, but
Yeah,
they played well. Like they
No,
played.
they did. But that was unexpected. Hence why I said it was not a fluke in terms of like they just stumbled on the league. But no one could expect Wes Morgan to play the way he did. Or
Okay, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Fuchs.
Yeah.
Okay, in that way, yeah.
Fuchs or
You know what's
having
cool about that
flipping-
Leicester team? You know how when Eddie Howe went to Newcastle and it was 19th, and then he brought them up the next season to finish 4th. It was
Yeah.
almost identical, apart from
Yeah.
they didn't go as far because
Didn't.
they were like they stayed up on their last 6 games of the season before they won all of them, because they had
Yes.
Cambiasto in it.
Mm.
Cambiaso.
Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
we're
I remember.
still on the list for that second part of the show still because
Yeah,
I'm tuning into that second part of that show. Don't worry, I saw your list.
Cambiasso was cold, man. And then I remember they sacked what's his name, Nigel Pearce and that.
Yeah, because man was strangling players on the sidelines. You remember?
Yeah, and then they started the next season and just roughed everyone up. And then I mean,
there needs to be. I don't know if there is if. It's probably one of these like bench players, but
cold. The defense was cold.
No, it weren't. It was a player that tackled him.
Yeah,
it was a player that tackled him.
He slid into him.
Okay.
Slid into him. Who was it?
Yeah. It was like the Saka and Klopp thing the other day, innit? But
James McArthur at Crystal Palace. It was James McArthur.
Yeah.
He tackled someone and fell into him, and Nigel Pearce started strangling him. I was like, mad, bro.
Just to swing it back round, I've got just two more topics, and then I want to do the ratings of the individual midfielders. How much do you guys think we'll miss Wataru during this period of time that he's obviously gone away for the Asia Cup kind of thing? Like, is he going to be someone that we're going to miss a lot? Because obviously, from what I'm hearing of all of you so far today, it almost sounds like we think that McAllister's just going to kind of slot back in, and that's the midfielder that we kind of want in that position. So,
I don't think he does. That's what I'm saying. I think I'm the only one. Yeah, I think we're going to miss him a lot.
Floor's yours,
I think we're going to miss him a lot. I think he's. I think he wins the ball back really, really, really high. I think they even showed it. It was actually a good clip on Monday Night Football where they showed like Endo's ability to win the ball very high up, and actually played a clip of Fabinho and showed that when Fabinho was there, he was winning the ball like on the edge of their box, which enabled us to keep up our attacks and score so many goals. When McAllister was there, it wasn't like that. It just seemed as though it popped around us, and we're relying on like Konate, our defenders, to intercept, because he just hasn't. He's not that way inclined. He doesn't read the game in the same way, in my opinion. So I think we're going to miss him a lot.
Huh?
Yeah, he is.
This Malfreever is a Chelsea fan, isn't it?
Yeah. Disarvey.
Asad.
Yeah.
Bro, this is Asad. You know I love you, bro. But I promise you employ Gallagher. I promise you employ this brother. I promise you employ Gallagher. So there's literally nothing you can tell me that.
I switched off when he said no one was in for McAllister, bro. I was like, bro, so obviously not paying attention.
No. I said big up your damn self. But I know for a fact you employ Gallagher. Like, I know you employ him because he's your captain. And you employ Reece James, who we never see working from home. Donny's there. You paid 115 mil for a guy who hasn't done shit. I don't care if we all wanted him. He ain't done
shit. 60 million for a man that ain't even got minutes yet. I
told you about Reece already, man. He ain't even the best James in his family, bro. So
yo, in a side of sport that isn't even covered like the side that we cover. Continue, guys.
Wataru, man, look. We're gonna miss him. But I'm more gonna miss him that we don't have him as an option than miss him in terms of he makes a massive difference to the team. I just miss him because he's not an option. Because there's games that we're gonna play this month, and I'm like, Wataru could step in for this one still.
Oh, it's kind of hard, man. We're gonna miss him.
Do we have that many Premier League games this month? We don't do.
No, only two. Only two.
Okay.
Well, we got the 21st and the 31st.
And then, but Arsenal straight after that, it's like on the 4th of Feb, so that's like around the corner as well.
Okay.
I'm like, these are the games. You're like, Chelsea one, maybe not so much. Arsenal one, because the way he was moving against them man was different.
Because McAllister's been out for a bit, now it feels like I've had more of a sample size than Wataru being in that spot. I feel like if I go off what McAllister was like just before he got injured, we'll be fine without Wataru. But there's parts where McAllister looks like he's sleepy, bro. Like,
yeah.
And it felt like he will gradually get out of his game, which it seemed like it was before he got injured. But because even Wataru gets caught on the ball every now and again. It's not often, but every now and again he will just get caught out. You know what I mean? But then again,
do you guys remember that
in a certain way? But McAllister offers something different, so it's kind of a weird one. He might offer something different where you don't really notice that you miss Wataru, but they're not doing the exact same job, if that means anything. So,
do you? No, I fully hear what you're saying. Do you guys remember that situation? Was it? I think when we played City, and that McAllister situation on the pitch, and he ended up just getting burnt because he was just in no man's land. That wasn't really his fault in terms of. I think it was just Trent had pushed up and there was no one else there. He just happened to be obviously the guy there. I always think back to that situation because I tried to put Endo in that same position. I feel like Endo would have just brought him down.
Yeah,
like, I just feel like Endo just would have got the yellow card and just ran with it regardless. Whereas I feel like because of the nature of the two players, as you said, McAllister offers something different. He is better on the ball than Endo. Of course he is, kind of thing. We saw that with one of the passes that he made against, was it Newcastle?
Newcastle, yeah.
That pass that he made, you're like, fucking hell, all right, cool. I know Endo ain't doing them kind of passes. But in those kind of situations, that's why I ask about this DM situation in regards to what is it you think we want? Not even what we want, because it doesn't matter. What do you think Klopp's looking for? Because I almost feel like he wanted Endo in that situation, not McAllister. Because McAllister ain't gonna, as we saw, McAllister wasn't trying to bring him down. He was just
he did try to bring him down, bro. He clipped him, but man was just strong, bro. He just brushed man aside.
Yeah,
no, but
Endo would have just, I don't know. I feel like Endo just would have just cleaned
that might be the difference. The fact that when McAllister tries to bring man down, they can shrug him up. You're not shrugging in Wataru. I feel clampy, bro.
I'm just thinking about the moment, though. In that moment, he was traveling at high speed, and he had no right to even get close to him in the first place. I'm like, would Wataru have got close to him? No, I don't think he would have. I'm not saying McAllister is a lot quicker than him.
I think Endo looks like Endo looks like when he's running, the stylistically, it looks like he's treading a bit more water. I think he's actually quicker than McAllister. I think McAllister's actually. I think McAllister. I'm telling you now, if they.
No, but I can believe that he's quicker than McAllister, because McAllister's not quick though.
Yeah, that's my point. That's
what Jerry's talking about with the style he runs, because he runs like he's got ankle weights on it with Toru.
Yeah, but I've seen him, like, for example, in the Newcastle game. Who was it that he was it Newcastle? When he got like to the last man and it looked like the guy was last man, and he kind of just stopped him from scoring. I don't know what.
I've seen that McAllister do that as well in games, bro. Where he's won the ball in the box, where he's travelled and
I'm talking about the ball's gone over the top of the defense. The defenders haven't even tracked back, and I think it was Endo the one that got back and just kind of put him off. McAllister's not doing that, man.
Same, bro. I've seen games as well, man. There's games where man was like, "Oh, he's not careful. It could have been a penalty." Where he's had to run past players in his team and go and win the ball in the box. I'm telling you, no one was stopping Doku there, bro. The only man.
Listen,
a Canate, a Virgil, Gomez, maybe Trent has got a bit more physicality in that. Bro, these two small men ain't stopping that. The guy was at.
To be fair,
you think Trent's got more physicality than Endo?
He would have attempted more, bro. His body type and stature is a bit bigger, innit?
But I think Trent would have just done this though. Trent's like.
Endo,
like I said, Endo's got more. For me, Endo, that's like his job, innit? It's like, I'm not letting you, like, you know, like you can imagine in training 1v1. He's like, yeah, cool. Like, this is where I come into my own. It's not necessarily on the ball.
I wish we could go back and watch that still. Play it, bro. I'm telling you, man ain't tackling it.
If I can find the clip.
No, you can't play it, bro, because that'll be copyright still. In general, man ain't stopping this man, bro. That was Doku, bro. There weren't no little media man, bro. This is man that after they just cooked up a team, and you think Wataru's gonna bro.
But every time I think of Trent pushing people, that shit fucking creases me. He's gonna do that in the Champions League final or something one day, bro. Man, he just gets there and says "fuck it, bro," and pushes. I don't get it, bro.
It's like he's just like, but fuck this.
It's lazy. It's just lazy. It's just lazy. It's like you don't want to carry on going with man, so you're just trying to do anything to put him off.
It's a shove man in his back and that, bro.
Bro, for no reason. I'm just like, bro, like, you know, you didn't need to do that. Like, you could have just left it.
Kanate's got that about him as well. Oh no!
I said it though. I told you.
Kanate isn't like I can't be bothered. Kanate is like
because he can get there.
I'm just gonna touch you up and just pause. I'm just gonna throw you about.
I think it was the Arsenal game, and obviously everyone was talking about the Odegaard penalty, and I'm like, I swear I just seen Kanate just dash man on the floor in the box.
Bro, I said the same thing, and people were like, "Nah, man, you're focusing on the wrong thing." I was like, "Nah, bro, I saw that too, you know."
No, that was a light. It was a light.
That was a light.
Liverpool, I want a penalty, bro. He just dashed him on the ground.
Exactly.
Hey, listen, we just saw the goalkeeper clip Jota's leg. Man said he's dying, so you could want who you want. bro, it is what it is, man. Man will tell our players he should have stayed on his feet.
What do you think? Do you think that was a clear pen? That second one.
He went down late, but he was contact. He went down late though. I'm not going to say.
Yeah, but do you think that contact was enough for it to be a penalty?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not the player in it, so I can't tell you what he thought.
Political answers there, you know. I said, I'm not the player, so I can't even tell you. You can't go to court and say, well, I'm not him, so I can't give you the answer.
I've run past player and a little nudge sometimes throw you off. Sometimes a clean contact, you stay on your feet. But the next step in it, you might feel the pain on the next step.
No. But ends. That wasn't no pain he felt. He put his foot flat on the ground. You saw the knee stiffen up. You knew he had balance. And then he was like, man clicked me.
The ankles, bro. He turned over and gave him that. I don't know, innit? I'm not the player, bro.
Hey, Jerry, I don't know who you start upsetting in Sheffield, my bro. I don't know who
when the Bravka said, I mean, the contact was there. The contact was there.
Oh, is it? That's
no
worries, man. No worries.
I'll go
Oh, yeah, it's because you was chatting shit the other day about Sheffield going to Sheffield. Yeah, bro. Listen, by the way, guys, I'm not involved, bro. Like, as in, he's a big man. He can fight his own battles. I mean, I didn't say anything. Remember, in fact, I remember the stream because I said to you, if they come for you, then they're coming for you. I think Sheffield is a beautiful place. I think, it's
not beautiful.
It's coming.
Oh, yeah, you're involved now as well. Now you're involved.
Cool. All right, cool.
I said, bro, shit all, bro. They ain't good for nothing. The Gales and the bro. That's it.
I told you, since the Industrial Revolution, it's been finished, bro.
Yeah, it's been stinking, man. It's like Margate and them places and that, bro.
Like I said, guys, I have no problems with Sheffield. This is all Jerry and Savage's words. So
Sheffield don't even like Sheffield, bro. Spicy Burnley, bro.
Hey, I sent you a G still, so look on your phone. I sent you the video and you see the move, bro.
I'm gonna look at it right now.
It for sure. I never used it though, because I wanted man to tell me there was no contact and tell me he just died. Yeah, it was late, but you know what I mean. He might have felt pain on the travel. There was
There was definite contact. Like you can see his right arm.
No, but there was contact. But what I'm saying is that's not enough.
It's because he went down so late, though. Yeah, like I feel almost like
for me, it's once he planted that foot and that foot just stiffened up. But it's like stiffened up. It looked like he was about to push off, and then as he pushed off, he's gone to try and drop. I was like, yeah, this guy is mad. And the thing is, we're lucky that Salah.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't think score the videos down, bro, at all.
Yeah, that's true.
Even if the ref sees it, see it in full speed and that, bro.
No.
Went down. Pain was in the ankle and that.
Listen, I'm not even getting into that because regardless, he gave the penalty, and the Bravka did say there was.
Should our players Should our players not go down if they feel contact?
But not everything needs to go down, though. You know that question.
Simple question.
There's nothing simple with you. That's the problem. It's not just a simple question.
I'm asking a simple question. Can I not ask a question, G?
Of course you can. Go on.
My simple question is, I don't need any politician answer. I just need a simple answer.
It says the
players
politician.
get contact in the box. Are you now saying they should just stay on their feet?
Not if not. I want them staying on their feet if they can. If it's a guarantee that they can finish the chance. Because what he's done, he's gambled on the fact that Salah's going to score the penalty when you could have slapped it in with his left foot. I mean, we saw the finish with Burnley the week before from the angle. He's slapping that in.
If that was Nunes, I would have totally agree with you. But this
but we can't change it depending on player. We can't change that thinking
because
depending
you
on player.
Man are telling me he's the most clinical man in our team. So you're telling me the most clinical man
Okay, before you continue, and before I answer that question, who's the most clinical man in the team?
You man told me was Jota.
Who do you think is the most clinical man?
Go on, I'll use Jota. Go on.
So if you say it's Jota, then what difference is it? Like, you're saying it's Jota. I don't get it. You're saying it's Jota.
I am saying it's a penalty.
I'll be honest, man. I formulated that it was a penalty just based on the fact that I saw the contact and it didn't make sense to me that he wouldn't pull it into an open goal. So
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think he's as confident that he's making now. I just thought he said right on the left. I can see two man. I felt the contact, and I'm gonna.
But he can finish on both feet though. So
no, he can. But you still need, like the Burnley one's instinctive. I'm just gonna ras it like near post because like I'm at an angle. This one's like, I've rounded the keeper. I've took it a bit too wide. I can stay on my feet, but there's two men coming to block it. I can't miss this one. Like, cool. I felt contact. VAR's going to catch me.
Say that again, sorry.
That's why
So,
when he
we already
planted-
winning 3-2 when he got that penalty.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
that's
was
what I'm saying, bro.
literally
If it was 2-2 and that, I don't know, man. I have to formulate my own idea, bro. And I don't think you're going round man to open goal and just diving on the floor, bro. Because
But that's what scares me. That,
I don't know. I've seen Nunes stop in the middle of the box and that, and you know what I'm saying.
Nunes
That's
is
what's
different,
scary.
bro.
For no
Yeah,
reason.
Larry,
Listen, we'll save the Nunes chat for tomorrow because that's going to be an interesting one. I just wanted to move on to the last point before we do the ratings, because I feel like we've all kind of forgotten these guys, and I don't want to forget these guys, and that's obviously the return of the master and the apprentice, and that's of course Thiago and Bajcetic.
Come on, man.
Like,
We ain't
like-
forgot them.
No, I know we can't forget them anyway.
I
But
don't know, man. Why the features matching up like that? Oi, I said remember more than your dad, bruv, because I don't know what's going on here, bruv.
Looking at these two, what are we saying about these two? Because obviously Thiago, not so much because he's been out for so long, and he looks like he's returning quicker than Bajcetic from what I've gathered, unless something different has been said. But what are we even saying about these two, man? Because when I was doing the whole, like, doing the stuff for this show, I actually almost thought this, I just put this in before the show started. I was like, fucking no, I forgot even about Thiago and Bajcetic in the team. Like, how are we looking? Obviously, the second half of the season, what's it even looking like? Bajcetic again, it's a tricky one because he's more of a future player anyway. But it's Thiago we're looking at. Like, what are we saying for him come the second half?
Listen, this man obviously is growing issues, isn't it? This man come back and he's like 6'4" now, Bajcetic. I don't know. He left at like 5'10", and all of a sudden he's 6'4".
Simicast is already back. Fucking hell.
Yes. I don't know if he is, bro. He was just running. I'm like, I thought he broken a collarbone.
I thought he broke his collarbone. Yes, I didn't. He's put his hands up and that.
I don't understand. He posted that about 26 minutes beforehand, and I'm like,
that's mad.
Yeah, it's mad. But yeah, man, I feel like Bajcetic, once he's back, man, it's gonna be a problem, man. Because we look how much we rated this kid even before we saw what he was about, and now you can see the little games where he's got the aggression, he's got the passing, he can score goals. You can see that as well. And then the master, I don't know, man. Most of you man said he's dead now and sell him and that still. So I don't know. I can't wait to have him back in the team.
Who, Thiago?
Yeah,
One of the negatives of Thiago, innit? When he's back, man. If we've only got him for the last part of the season, he moves on safe. But he's so cold, bro. It means that the rotation in cup games and that gets even better either way, bro. Because it's either he ends up playing in the Premier, and the person that doesn't play plays in that cup game, or he plays in there and that, and Thiago's cold, bro. Cold. So
I don't want to see him purely because of the fact that I felt like I've been sold a dream, innit? That you've been given a whip that you've wanted. Like, he's the best player that for me Liverpool have signed in terms of the status he was at, and the status he was at, the ability, like in terms of what he won ever in Liverpool's history. Like, everyone else, we're buying like an up and coming player. Suarez weren't the player he was when he left. This was arguably people were saying the best midfielder in the world that just won the Champions League. And let's be honest, man ain't done crap. Man hasn't done crap. Like, I'm going to be honest. I know people are going to say he was decent in the quad season and stuff. He was decent. He had some fantastic performances because he's that good. But like, I expected so much more, man. And I thought he just. I mean, it would be. It would
when
look
it comes to that
different.
second half of the season, Hubs been all the trophies and that.
I don't want to see him, man. I want Jones to win us the trophies.
Do you think
Wright
Wright?
be there no matter what?
Do you think Wright played at the wrong time when we signed him, and now probably is the moment for him to now shine?
The moment's been there. It's just his injuries, isn't it?
Big moments.
It's true, isn't it? It's true. The moment's been there, man. He's just been pants. Yeah.
I think.
I still
big up John.
believe in him.
I mean, he's got 6 months left of his deal. If there's
we
any
would have
time
brought
like
one
the present.
less. We would have brought one less midfielder if Thiago was fit the whole time. In fact, Thiago and Bajcetic were both fit. These midfielders might not.
I definitely don't think. I definitely don't think Gravenberch should have been signed if Thiago was still fit. I don't think we signed Gravenberch.
Mention another player, bro. What's going on?
Okay, first and foremost, I'm just out here trying to pick a player first. Like,
I don't understand why Gravenberch.
And it wasn't going to be McAllister because we got him so early, so that didn't really.
Even though Thiago and Bajcetic playing that one, so you picked the. Okay, no, fair enough.
Anyways, like I said, I'm picking Gravenberch as the player. the player who I think is going to be.
Because it's our fault, G, man. As content creators, it's our fault. Because what now, man, are going to run online and go, see, G said we shouldn't have signed Gravenberch because we... Bro, it's our fault as well, bro.
Okay, you know what? Even speaking about Gravenberch anyway, and I like the guy. I always thought he was a dope player. I didn't want to sign the guy anyway because I wanted us to actually, obviously hindsight, I didn't know we were signing Endo, and I wanted a DM. So I was like, well, why are you signing Gravenberch when you've already signed Szoboszlai, you've already signed McAllister? I'm like, well, go and get that DM. But at that time, I also thought Bajcetic was coming back. Was coming back basically the start of the season. I didn't think it was going to be out this whole time that he's basically.
Well, he came back, innit? He came back. He came
for like half a game and then.
Yeah, he said I'm growing, innit? And they were like,
he played right back. Yeah, he played right wing back, whatever you want to call it. And I was just like, it was all right in that game. And I was just like, I thought if Bajcetic was coming back, you still got Elliott, you still got Jones. I didn't need Gravenberch on top of that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's just one of them things. But yeah, look, I wanted to quickly before we head out, I wanted to do just ratings of the players of the midfield, individual ratings on how you kind of, you guys kind of see them. So we'll start off with Curtis Jones. He's at the top of the list. What are you guys giving him for him so far this season?
7. I think now he's in the best shape in terms of consistency. And he's been very consistent now from his games that he's played. I think slightly at the start of the season he wasn't as consistent, but that obviously a bit of injury to do with that as well. But I think he's been consistent, man. In terms of, is he creating a lot of chances? Not really, but I guess that's probably not his role in the team at the moment. But I think he's just been consistent now. 7, a flat 7 is a high number, man.
I mean, I think so too, but yeah, I know some people don't like that number 7 for some weird reason. They think it's kind of low. Even I think it's relatively high. Savage, Jerry, what are you guys saying?
Is the half marks or just 7?
Yeah, 0.5 if you want to do 0.5.
Yeah, 7. Yeah. I don't think he's actually been that inconsistent in terms of the way he's played. Because the couple of games when he wasn't the best were off the bench after his injury. And then obviously his red card was 3 games missed on it because he was dangerous play or whatever like that. So apart from that, he's been good. He didn't start the season. I thought he was going to start the season in terms of being on the pitch. But yeah, aside from that, I think he's been cold in most times he's played still. Obviously seems to be getting better and hitting the form that he finished the last season with. So yeah, 7.5.
7.5, 8. I think that's fair. I think he's been like in terms of consistency, probably the most consistent in terms of
I'll do 7.5 because I feel like that's the kind of consensus that everyone's kind of going with. McAllister, what are we saying about him?
I think he got better as he started to grow in a role before he got injured. Savage mentioned earlier, but I never had a problem with him in there, bro, because I didn't look at the team and go, we need a destroyer and he needs to do this and he needed to do that. Just felt like he kept the ball well when we needed him to. Apart from like the Brighton game, but going back to your old club and playing, apart from the goal, and everyone blamed Virgil for it. It was McAllister's fault, that one. Should have been on his toes. Didn't, got caught on it. I haven't had a problem with him in there, bro. And when he got injured, those first couple of games, everyone was like, see, this is why we need McAllister. But then Wataru grew as well, and then he started to become so. I give him a 6.5.
6.5. Jerry South. I say 5.5. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because of like the type of midfielder he is. I thought he would have had more of an impact in our midfield, like playing more inside. You see those passes that Enzo's talking about, those vertical passes that change defense to attack very, very quickly. He doesn't do them as often enough as a Thiago did when he was playing in our team. Then you could see the difference. Like it was like, we're just on attack straight away. He's got the ability to, but he hasn't done it. And he picked up his form. I'd go like a 6. Because he's played in the DM. Like I'll probably give him 6.5 because he played in the DM. If he was playing in the 8 role and having these performances, brother, he's spooky. You might be looking at like or 5. Do you know what I mean? A 5 for me because I just haven't been that impressed. But because he's in the DM, it's a different role. I give him like a 6.56. Easy with that.
Yeah, got 6.5.
6.5. That's what I think I'm trying to.
Definitely got better before he got injured.
Definitely. Yeah,
he's shown sparks and moments of brilliance in games. I think there was like one bad boy pass against Bournemouth he did at the beginning of the season. Little dink over the top of that. But there was 2 or 3 games, 2 in particular, I think Brighton, West Ham, and Wolves. Those 3 games were like they weren't good, bro.
Brutal, brutal.
Obviously, the one with Wolves, he just come back from international break. He decided to play him. He come off at halftime. West Ham was the one where Paqueta was just destroying everyone in the first half. And then obviously Brighton, that game was a bit all over the place. He wasn't terrible, but he wasn't the best. And he definitely went to sleep when Birds passing the ball still. So 6.5.
Szoboszlai, this one's gonna be interesting. Started off like Gerrard, ended up like I don't even know.
Man would say McTominay. Man would say McTominay.
Yeah. Boy, McTominay was even scoring goals in that for Scotland. So I don't know. I don't know if man can even say he was McTominay level. But yeah, go on. Sorry.
I'm gonna give him a high rating.
Cool.
I think he's been very consistent up to a month ago, and even within that month, he's still contributed in terms of scoring goals. Yes, we want more from him, and then Savage rightly put it as well, man. And Jerry as well. He's doing a lot of the work, bro, for Trent as well. He's it's Jerry that mentioned it. He's unlocked Trent to an extent, so he's doing the defensive side. And what Savage was saying as well, in the games that he's not playing well, maybe in the attacking side, defensively he's sound. And even I cooked him one game for it. Savage was like, nah, bro, because that game, if you look at this, and this, he was doing that. Went back, checked. I'm like, oh, the numbers are mad still.
Same with Arsenal game, forward. Locked up Martinelli.
Yeah, and I'm like, ball recoveries, ball retention, interception, he tackles, kilometers traveled, and whatever. And I was like, I didn't even see that, bro, because I was looking at the attacking side. And it's only when Savage mentioned it, I was like, yeah, that's mad still. I'm going to give him a 7.5, maybe an 8. Because it's only, in my opinion, it's only been in the last month his performances have dropped. And even then, he still helped.
Yeah.
Apart from that, bro, he was cooking differently.
I know the exact point when his games changed as well. It was the Bournemouth game, the League Cup match.
I was just about to say Bournemouth game,
yeah. It was.
I blamed it. I said it was because it was a rainy day. I said that.
Yeah, because that's when Diaz started playing.
Hey, we need these rainy days in Bournemouth and that. You know what I'm saying? Can you do the rainy day in Bournemouth? Because
exactly. So, but yeah, he started off very well, man. I don't ignore the defensive work on it. So if it was just based on his offensive work, it'd probably be a 5.
But even, just to interject there quickly, even this offensive thing that we all talk about, it's not like the brother was setting the world alight offensively anyway. It's not like he was scoring bare goals from midfield or getting bare assists. Like
he seems that he's just missing one thing because, like in the last couple of games, who do you play in the last game?
Newcastle,
Arsenal. There was one of the games where he was
played. Last game,
the Newcastle game. Everything he was doing up until the final pass was perfect, bro. And it started to bother me a little bit because I'm like, he's doing everything, bro. The defensive work, the running with the ball and carrying and stuff like that. But in transition, his final pass was shit. But he started the season so well. At that point, people were talking about not in the world or anything like that, but at the time, they were saying he's the best midfielder in the Premier League. So.
But he was the signing of the season, really.
Yeah, so I'll go 7.5 in that because I don't think the drop-off's as mad as everyone else thinks in that. I just think, as I said to you two loads of times, you notice very quickly that when Trent started scoring goals, Szoboszlai stopped. And it wasn't a coincidence, bro. Because they both can't do it at the same time, and so one's got to do. So either Trent does his job as a right back, and then Szoboszlai will get the goals and assists, or it's the other way around, bro. Not twice. So yeah 7.5 for me.
Derek, 7.5 at the moment. 7.5.
Same.
Leave it at that. Gravenberch.
I'd say a 6. I feel like he's still got a lot to prove. Obviously, he's come in. He didn't have a preseason. He's learning his new team, which all of them are to be fair. So it's not an excuse. He hasn't played a lot of football as well. Even if you go and check the minutes, Savage did the maths before we signed him. Or was it when we signed him or just before we signed him in terms of...
The minutes added up to about 6 games.
6 games, bro, for Bayern. In terms of the minutes that them man were using him in the previous season. Didn't make no sense, bro. So now he's getting an opportunity, but he's coming to a team that's young, hungry. And his performance is up to the Arsenal point. I thought was fine. I didn't see an issue with it. The Europa League games, those were the games he was starting in. But Savage was right when he was called upon to do the long distance in terms of you're going to start and probably have to finish the game. Around the 60-minute mark, he was dying out. And then his passing started lacking, tackling and tracking and stuff like that was lacking around that. So you can see the fitness levels ain't there. But apart from the Arsenal game, no one can tell me that he weren't good before that. Because I need the games and I need the moments. Because I'm not going to hear the narrative that everyone's running with on YouTube or on Twitter, bro, that everyone seems to be following each other. Tell me the games, tell me the minutes, tell me the moments, and then I'll go and look at them. But before that, everyone was saying he needed to start.
I mean, I even did a video on it saying that I thought he needed to start games. So
Yeah,
I'm not going to sit here and act like I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on.
yeah.
It's around the same with the Prem games as well. The minutes,
I think
about 6 Prem games altogether.
No, he's played more. Or what in terms of minutes he's played?
No, in minutes, not obviously the actual games. I only done that.
I think it's because he's had 22 appearances. He's had 22 appearances so far. 2 goals. Yeah,
it's been good in every cup game, and then the Prem games and 15 Prem games. I think.
Yeah.
I didn't think he played.
But when we did the minutes, it was for Bayern, innit? It wasn't for Liverpool.
No, but I'm saying I just done the 628 minutes in the Prem. If you divide that by 90, it's about 6. It's about 6 games.
It's about 6, yeah, 6 and a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mathematicians and everything there. Come on. Not just football.
He's been good. I think he offers us something different in midfield. I think he's been our worst midfielder in terms of performances.
Both good and bad things right there.
No, I think he's good, but I think he's been our worst midfielder. Doesn't mean he's been like a 1 or something. Can he do more? I think he could do much, much more. I think with his ability, with his skill set, he should be pushing to start every single game. He's so, as in, you've got the ability, you need to play anywhere. And right now, it's like he's trying to rediscover what type of midfielder he is. It reminds me of what Jones was a couple of years ago, where you didn't know if he's an attacking midfielder, you don't know if he's a 6, you don't know if he's an 8, you don't know if he might be better somewhere else. It's just he's a kind of, you don't know. We signed him, and I know he plays in that left-hand channel, but would he do better on the right? Would he do well in a 6? Like, we just don't know yet. I'd give him like a 5.5, 6.
What did you give him, Ends?
I gave him a 6.
I gave him 5.5, I think.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna go 6, just because I think I remember quite a few of the first Premier League games he played before we started the games. It was the last 20 minutes and that, but I think there's a few games where we had changed formation in the game, like it's a low block, and we tried to get the most out of the game, so we went 4-2-4 or whatever. And at them points, Klopp was just throwing man on, because I think at one point Gakpo was on the right and he was at the left side of it. It's all over the place. The cup games, I don't remember him being bad in any of the cup games, bro. I think that's where everyone started talking about how good he was, because he was pretty good in them. League Cup as well. I think he played Leicester in that game as well.
Yeah.
Europa League games, he was very good. Off the bench, he's not the best off the bench, bro. At the moment.
Yeah, I don't feel like he is either.
Because if you bring him on with 20 minutes left, it takes him 10, 15 minutes to get into a game. And coming up against low blocks, which we have as the season's gone more into it, he looks a bit lost, doesn't it?
Big up Jerry every time, man.
Big up Jerry. He looks a bit lost. It looks like he doesn't know where to be, whereas some of the other ones seem to have a bit more of, I've been a part of this team for a minute. I kind of know, you know what I mean? Let me find these spaces and gaps and stuff. But I can't just act like it's been shit, man. And I ain't gonna let the fan base get away with this Yaya Toure and then all of a sudden it's shit. I'm not allowing it, bro. You know what I mean? If you're showing that much promise the way man even saying that, even though I think it's nonsense, then you can't just be shit, bro. So yeah, it's work rate for him. He's going to have to get up to speed with certain things. At this point, I don't think it's fitness because, you know what I mean, we're halfway through the season. But work rate and knowing, you know, the positioning of your players and stuff. And I guess when he comes on the left side today, it hasn't helped that Diaz hasn't been very good. And Robbo's been out. And then Shimmikas has been out. And then sometimes it's Gomez. I don't think that helps any of them, to be honest, bro. So, yeah, for me, give him a 6.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with everything what everyone's kind of said about him in terms of you can see he's a player with bare ability, man. Like you can tell what he can do well. But I agree with what you just said there about him coming off the bench. I don't really like his performances off the bench, so to speak. Shows flashes here and there, but I almost feel like he's a player who needs to find his way or start off a game because then he's already into the kind of pace of everything. Whereas when he comes on in games, at times, yes, he'll show flashes, but then I always feel he just can't really keep up to speed with what's kind of going on. And in certain game states that he is coming on, sometimes you're like, oh, that might have not been the best substitution, like we saw the other day against Arsenal, where it was like, maybe this isn't the game that you bring him on. Maybe you just keep Curtis Jones on the pitch. But hindsight is obviously, of course, a wonderful thing. Harvey Elliott, what we saying for him? Coming off the bench quite a lot recently. Again now, just like Gravenberch, there's a lot of clamour for him to start games. But he's been good off the bench. You know what I mean? He's super impactful. I would definitely say he's been the best sub we've had, in my opinion, anyway.
For the role he's had, he gets an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
I think.
Yeah. I'm only judging him on what he's doing. Yeah,
he's been mad impactful off the bench, bro. Like I think there's only like one game where he didn't seem to make too much of a difference, and he came on with like 6-7 minutes left and was already winning the game. But apart from that, man, he offers so much. There's so much difference to his play when what he offers to our team, and he does the overlapping work. He gets into the box and gives Salah space to. Salah has a choice then whether he wants to go to the left and shoot or if he wants to pass it down the byline. And I think now he stopped looking for Salah only.
Yeah, man, Jesus Christ,
It's made him way better, bro. And he's trusting himself a bit more because you can say that. I don't know what the stats are, but he's definitely had more shots this season than he has this whole time at Liverpool. And they seem to be on target as well, man. So yeah, and he works his ass off, man. I think for him, depending on what position he's playing, if it's right side 8 or the wing's a little bit better because he doesn't have to. Yes, he has to track back, but he doesn't have to be
as militant with it.
Trent cover and that. Whereas when he's the Trent cover, he literally isn't lazy at all. But his defensive work is a bit meh. Like it doesn't really offer much, but it's just another body for someone to try and run past. But if you ask him to intercept and tackle and that, not the best at times. Sometimes it is in transition and then we make the play, but it's not his thing, in it. So aside from that, bro, it's been cold this season. Big him up still.
No. I definitely agree. Last but not least, before we wrap up with some questions, Wataru. Are we looking for Wataru, man? I think he's been good so far. Like
his one is a difficult one because you probably say up to last month, he was getting into in terms of finding his way in the team and finding his way. So I say last month is his best period where everyone kind of go, oh shit, like we see what you're doing. But before that, we're not going to pretend and say he was massively great in the team and
nah, he wasn't.
He was doing some great stuff and whatever. I'd probably put him the same as Gravenberch, bro.
I hear it.
I'll probably put him the same. He has played a lot more games now, but it's December, that busy period. Yeah. But there was more that we signed. It's not like we signed him that month. We signed him in the summer.
Yeah.
So there were games when he's had to step in and he's done okay. There's games that he's done well. And there's games where people just running by him and you're like, should we have signed him? Not us, because we obviously rate him. We just need to give him time. But from a performance, last month he was different level, man.
You know, he hasn't played that much more Premier League minutes than Gravenberch.
I know.
It's about 20.
Oh wow, 20 minutes more.
Yeah, because I'm on thing now, innit? What? That's bro, it's mad.
Because him and Gravenberch kind of mimicked each other in terms of they both played cup games first in the team together, innit? And then Gravenberch got the starts before Wataru because McAllister was still there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. Listen, he was getting caught out a little bit at the beginning. It was a bit unfortunate for him more than anyone at the beginning of the season because he weren't playing Prem games, and the only minutes he got in the Prem, we were already down by a player in the game. 10 men.
Yeah, he was coming on with 10 men in them. Like.
Yeah. So Newcastle, Spurs, Both games, he'd come on and was already down in the game. And then the pace of the Prem, you needed to get accustomed to, because it's not like you done anything what led to a goal, but there was times where it's like, you're doing all the right things, but you'd step in and man would just run past because they're just a little bit quicker.
Like he was going right and they were going left, or he was going left and they were going right.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's quite focused on it. Once he sees the ball, whatever's in the way, I'm taking everything out, getting the ball, bro. But them men are a little bit quick for him, so I'm gonna go 7.5 with Wataru still, based on his whole season.
Do you know he's had
better?
He's had more starts than
7.
Gravenberch and Curtis Jones.
Yeah, it makes sense, because Curtis wasn't in the team and he was injured, and since
McAllister never really
been out the whole of December.
But this is what I'm saying. It's been the last month where he's actually started shining, and that's what I didn't want to do. I don't want to go by last month, and then because if you're going by last month, then he's like a 10.
No, I don't think it's been the last month he's been shining. I think it's the last month it's been Premier League games. Before that, he was in the Cup doing it. And that's the same with Gravenberch. They were both in the Cup doing their thing, bro.
Not really
playing. I don't remember anyone saying...
And Elliot, if we're judging Elliot, giving him an 8, and he's only really... We're judging it based off the fact that he's coming off the bench.
Exactly.
I feel like, Endo would fall into that bracket of, you just got to judge it on what we have seen. I feel like 7's a good mark, because I'm like... What you're both saying is that both things are correct. We're not going to sit here and act like this brother was lighting up trees from when he first joined, because he wasn't.
That's why I didn't go too high with Curtis either, even though there's context to it, bro. He got sent off, missed 3 games, then got injured. And then when he came back, Gravenberch in the squad, and because you didn't want him back in, remember?
Yeah, but I feel like we're just doing a recency thing, bro, because man ain't telling me before last month he was cold, bro.
Who was
worth a 7? Wataru. Nah, bro, he wasn't that great.
Okay. Prior to last month, what if we took out this whole last month?
7.
What score would you have given him?
I'll still
prior
give
to
him,
last month.
I think if you even it out, I think it was 5, but I've given him an extra 1 because of last month he was on smoke. But I know people are going to go overboard now and go and give him some mad numbers.
7 is not even a mad number, though.
Yeah, but 7 it means where did he start from before that?
Are you saying are you mad at him getting a 7 because Gravenberch got a 6, bro?
No, because I'm looking at the game, bro. We're doing what the Arsenal fans did with Kai Havertz.
But they've got different jobs.
He's had a better season than Szoboszlai. I'm like, because he's had 1 good month.
It's not that. They've got different jobs, in it. So Wataru doesn't have the offensive side to do than what them lot do. So we can only really do on what he does defensive. If you go through all your videos of talking about Wataru, you're bigging him up, bro.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not bigging him up, bro. I'm just saying if you're asking me about a rating for him overall since he started the club, this is not a rating of the last game he played. This is a rating from when he started to now. And I'm saying I'm not just going to go and give him a high rating based on the 1 month where I thought he was outstanding.
No, but
the game that he played.
Do what you do with Harvey. So the cup games, there was
Harvey,
no bad game.
I think Harvey's been cold every game he's played in.
No, but he said obviously Harvey's
been come off the bench though. Yeah,
I'm saying,
it's not really starting
the game he played though. I'm just going by the game he played.
That's what I'm doing. I said the same thing about Gravenberch. Him and Gravenberch started the same games in the cup, and they didn't have any bad games, bro. Obviously, when Gravenberch scored or assisted, he's going to be spoke about more than Wataru. But you've man are forgetting that the Leicester game when he clamped up the whole squad and that, bro. And Gravenberch was ball in that game as well. So
yeah, I know you got assisting now, but
a 7 is like it's not even that great. Look,
I'm not having an issue with the number you've given him, but I just want to throw context to it. Is
no, that's good.
If it's a rating from his last game, cool, cold, bossed it, did well, mad. But we're talking about from when we bought him to now.
Okay. Do you think then, it's in saying that, in this last month, do you think that Gravenberch has had a better period at Liverpool since he's been here?
He's had a longer, consistent period.
Than what we've seen of Wataru in this last month?
In my opinion, it might be different based on everyone else's.
I think he's had a better period than any period that Gravenberch.
I mean, I was just fair. I just broke down I just divided the minutes by the games, bro. And the Premier League minutes are very similar. And if you're saying the last month has been damn near all Premier League games, bro. So that means most of the full 90-minute Premier League games he's had have been really good. And we ain't lost in that period at all. And then
this is why I'm saying if we based it off of that month, then I would give him a
No, I'm not though, but I'm saying if you take the period you're talking about, it's mostly Prem games in December. That's the month you're saying he was the best. And then people are saying, and you agreeing in December, Gravenberch hasn't been the best. And that's still the period where the most games are being played.
Oh, I didn't agree. I just said he wasn't good against the 20 minutes against Arsenal.
Okay. Well, the thing is to do is you can't compare Gravenberch and Wataru because they're playing different positions.
I'm not comparing them though.
Okay, so December, where Wataru's played most of his games because McAllister's been injured, he ain't had no bad games, bro. That's why he got player of the month. Yeah, he hasn't had no bad games. And you've never said he's had a bad game, but did all the shows with you, bro. So before that, he wasn't playing the league games because McAllister was, and he would only come off the bench and help out the team in that. And he was just good off the bench because he didn't have to play the whole game. And then in the cup games, he's been good in every cup game.
He wasn't good in all the cup games.
I'm not trying to like boost him up, but was only playing against Laskin that, bro. Like apart from,
but this is what I'm saying. There's moments in the games where he hasn't been that great. I'm trying to give context from the start when we signed him till now. I'm not trying to do it over the 1 month because if you ask me over the last month, then yeah, mad.
I'll give him a 9. I was doing the player ratings with you, bro. Like there was none of this like about Wataru then. So
I'm not knocking with. I'm just bro. G's asking a question. I'm not. It's not a player rating. I'm talking about if you're looking back from when we signed him till now. I have to look back over the content. If we did a rating for him when he played in them games, it was harsh. Remember, because he was playing with 10 men, so we gave him a bit more boost because he was playing with 9 men and playing with 10 men. But if you look over it, exactly what he did in the game now. So I have to look over the period of when we signed him till now. Take away all the emotion, taking away everything, just looking at him. I have to look at games when he would, bro. When I even mentioned you in what game was it, bro? And I was like, nah, bro, I don't think he played that well because every time I see him, he was chasing the playback. I think he's better when he can see everything in front of him. I said that to you. The last performance he had, not the Newcastle one. Don't think there was an Arsenal. Might have been the game just before that.
It was before that.
Might be the West Ham game. Was it the West Ham game?
No, it wasn't West Ham because
we Crystal Palace.
Might have been Crystal Palace. And
I thought. You know what? To be fair, in saying that, I didn't think he was good in that Crystal Palace game.
Yeah, I think he put a hit on him and Hughes followed him around the pitch.
Yeah.
But that's my point. That's my point. You just said all season, and there's a reason why that game stands out to you, bro. But I'm saying off the whole season, bro, he hasn't been having the 90 minutes since the start of the season, so I can only mark him on what he's done off the bench in the beginning. And then the Prem games, realistically, I'm only marking him on December because before that, McAllister was fit and he played every game. He was.
Listen, it's your rating, bro. I'm not going to knock your rating. I'm just saying, I guarantee you now, you look in the chat, the ratings are going to be man high. And I know it's because of last month.
The chat hasn't got him high.
What did they give him?
They've got him at
6.5, 6s. Someone gave him 8.5.
That is high, though. It's not high about that.
That's one.
6.5?
No,
yeah, only one being. Oh. I'm more leaning towards the 7 because I'm kind of in agreement with Savage in terms of, I'll be real, I feel like I don't feel like Gravenberch has had a good period the same way that Endo has had. And obviously, considering that these two players have not really played like that in terms of start games until recently, in the case of Endo, it's obviously harder to judge it because now I'm only really going back to Europa League games to judge it. Gravenberch was good in those Europa League games. Of course, he scored a couple goals, I think, in the Europa League. Endo's also been good. Of course, I'm not judging him by goals, but just in terms of his role in the team. In fact, Endo has scored, I think, in both Premier League and the Europa League. I'm sure he scored in both competitions. But either way, I'm still thinking Endo would deserve a 7 because of his performances. Yes, mainly because of that last month. But that last month was so good and so much better than, in my opinion, any other time that Gravenberch has actually had in terms of just a run of games that he's actually played. Whether
Liverpool played like 7. I think we played 7 games in December. And obviously the 8th game was Man City just before that.
He started 8 games because he started more games than the other 2. But listen, I'm not trying to compare them, bro. I'm just saying, if you ask me from the start of the season till now, I think a 6 is just. But if you guys seen something more, then that's fine as well.
No. Listen, man. And to be fair, what you're saying, it's maybe like I'm even disagreeing with what you're saying because, again, it makes sense in terms of we're looking at it as a whole. For everyone here, we're looking at it as a whole, and everyone bars Szoboszlai, and that's only just now he's got himself injured. Everyone here. I'm just looking. Yeah, everyone here has kind of been in, out, injured here, hasn't really consistent kind of thing. So it
That
is
plays a
difficult
part,
trying to do. Yeah, it is kind of difficult. But obviously, those are the ratings, guys. You guys can obviously see it. Jones 7.5, McAllister 6.5, Szoboszlai 7.5, Gravenberch a 6, Elliott an 8, and Wataru a 7. Now I'm just going
I
to get
can't see it's
into.
positive still. It's positive,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
we're
ratings
above
all of
average.
them. It's nothing amazing yet, and we're top of the table and all the stuff, the league, the cups and all that, and they can only get better, bro. Because by the end of the season, it won't be them ratings, bro. Not when we won the league. Like, come on, man.
No, facts, man. Question time, people. Question time. If you got any more questions, please put them in the chat. We're gonna spend the next, say, 10 minutes or so just finishing this up. Question from Honesty about the new midfield. Why are they sometimes slow in the build up at times compared to the old midfield? Is it Klopp's tactics, or they know we will find the space eventually?
Got better ball playing players as well.
Decision making of them at the moment sometimes isn't the best. Yeah, I mean, they choose the wrong pass on the transition and stuff like that. I think there's a lot to it, and because it depends what part of the game you're in. If they're trying to be a bit more cautious, sometimes we go gun ho and do nothing with the ball, so they might try and change it up the next time. And sometimes, if I'm honest, it's Trent, bro, because they give him the ball, and there was a Trent. I'll be honest, like there's probably the beginning of December, I was praising Trent for picking up the ball and carrying it, bro. The way that cohesion and gravenberch should be doing and he was doing it great, bro. But then he stopped and went back to the Hollywood ball, bro. So you give him the ball and everyone starts darting forward as we're gonna go on this press, guys. And Trent just stops, bro. Says, "Nah, I'm picking out this one." And obviously sometimes it comes off because he's so cold, but sometimes it doesn't, bro. And it's like fucking hell, bro. Like you could have just carried that ball into space, bro. So that's a lot of the things sometimes, and it's the main creator still, which I don't know how I feel about it. But I'm not gonna moan, but I don't know how I feel about it, bro. Because
It's one of those ones you'd have to see come the end of the season.
Like, yeah, I'd rather the creative person to be further up the pitch, bro. Like,
yeah, same.
Especially when it's low blocks and that, they ain't working, bro. They just sit back and head the ball away.
And they become kind of useless. Next, honestly, again, also question: what happens to Thiago when he comes back? Top player, but it would be a bit effed up if Klopp just benches Curtis Jones for Thiago. I don't think he would even bench Jones for Thiago anyway, to be fair. I think it will be
playing when he needs
someone else.
Yeah, I'm with Evans. I think that's what will happen as well. His experience will be needed in certain instances, isn't it? And I think even though we have people to bring off the bench, sometimes even when we bring everyone off the bench, it still looks a bit like everyone's off the bench now. So now we've got some creative to do, and if they're not having a good game, Thiago might be the spot. And he'll be playing with better players as well, which it'll be different to see Thiago with these kind of players and that.
It would improve them as well, man.
I agree.
These men are, when he's back in training properly and training with them, there's going to be so much. These men are going to be picking out of his game and going, oh, you turn like that, you drop the shoulder like this, you carry it there, that pass there. There'll be so much, man. The man has bags of, games that he's played. He's played at the top level for so many years, man. Played for some top clubs, including us.
Bro, he's only played 4 top clubs. He hasn't played for any shit. Like Barcelona, Bayern Munich,
trophies, man. Like he's cleaned up everything you need to clean
Spain,
up. There's so much these men can learn. We've seen how quickly Bajcetic is developed so quickly under his tutelage, man. Gravenberch is young, Szoboszlai is young, Curtis is young. Obviously, Curtis had him a bit longer as well, but in general, not in training, can't even gas. There's certain man when they're back in training, bro, they gas you up. Just in there, all of a sudden now you're doing some things you weren't naturally doing.
Never did,
the man them are there, man.
Curtis try to do 1-2 shimmy and that, like, just for no reason. Just
I saw Bajcetic start dropping man out with that turn, the Thiago turn. He didn't come in with that turn. Bro, that man sliding all over the place in the Newcastle game and that, bro. Just
we'll say that about Gravenberch as well, man. I don't think people realize he's younger. Like, he doesn't walk around.
How old is he?
21.
21. We don't walk around like the rest of the man, so
he's quite tall. Yeah, he's quite a tall. Like he's a long limb type of brother. I wouldn't say he's that tall, but he's a long limb type of guy. So he looks like man tall.
These man got years, bro. That midfield is gonna be so mad, bro.
Listen, I hope so. Big up Realism, Jared in the building. Do you think it's the pressure on our new players why they haven't met the expectations we have for them, bar Endo, he's older and managed to handle the pressure much quicker. Interesting question.
So do you think the pressure on the new players is why we haven't met? What expectation? Whose expectation? Your own?
Because we said our expectations, but
okay, I'll ask this then. I'll ask this in this then. Your own expectations of these players, have these players so far met them?
I technically think we answered this earlier on when we did.
Yeah, true.
We're talking about the players, man. No, there's more to come from them.
Yeah.
But the expectation is, bro, there's none because they all knew. They all, you know what I mean? They're all new in the positions together and they're still learning how to play. We know individually what they do for their club, for their countries. We see McAllister for his country, different level. Szoboszlai carries Hungary on his back. Obviously, we haven't seen Gravenberch yet for his international, but we've seen him in the under-21s. Mad. Curtis, we've seen him in the under-21s. Cold. So there's no expectations yet, man. I think next season is when you have to set expectations on them properly in terms of what you expect from them.
Like, 100%. I said,
if there was only one of them that came in, maybe two with the old guard, you're like, I know what the old guard is going to do, but I'm not going to put pressure on you now. But all of them in the midfield, and you to an extent, Curtis is new because he, like Savage rightly put it, he hasn't played a lot of games for Liverpool, even though he's been here for a minute. So they're all, we've got 5 new midfielders technically, if you want to add Curtis to the mix, playing consistent football. Yeah, man, there's no expectation. Just go out there and ball out, man.
I agree. I think it's not the expectations before the season started. I think it's the expectations after the first 4 or 5 games when everyone started getting too excited, bro. That's what's killing people. Yeah, man ain't gonna meet the expectation of being Steven Gerrard. You ain't fucking Steven Gerrard, bro. Gerrard didn't even meet Gerrard's expectation when he first got in the squad, bro.
Savage, I feel like people forget. They act like Gerrard was doing Gerrard things the second he broke into the... I promise you, I saw midfields with Danny Murphy, the Jamie Redknapp's in those midfields. Didi Hamans and that.
Gerrard was like our Curtis Jones's, bro. Not in terms of the play, but
effectively,
like time on the pitch and stuff like that at the beginning. So if a man comes into your squad and you say he's going to be the Hungarian Steven Gerrard, well, he's not going to meet your expectations. If man plays 3 games, bro, and really, really good, but you're like, he's Yaya Toure. Bro, that means these men have nowhere to go. They can't even have a bad performance, bro.
Yeah, for real. That's a Yaya Toure.
Bro, Yaya Toure wasn't Yaya Toure. Like,
fact.
Bro, trust.
The Toure everyone talks about is the Premier.
The Man City one.
See, and he was in the top Barcelona squad. The man weren't talking about him like that.
Yeah, they used to play him centre back. We mentioned this in the last show.
Yeah, man.
Bro, they used to play him centre back, and I promise you, they didn't even rate him like that anyways. Like, until they knew he was leaving.
He played centre back because Abidal got cancer. We know. So, you know what I mean?
And then who did they shift? They shift someone left back, and then he played centre back.
Exactly, bro. So
because Abidal used to
be more patience to give man time.
I remember they shifted for a few games in until they got it sorted.
No, it's true. Honestly, again, why do you man think a part of the fan base were like, is a new midfield Klopp 2.0? Let's be patient, but if they have a bad game, basically, why is everyone flip flopping?
I don't know, bro. Honestly,
I couldn't really answer that question.
Oh, no. I'm gonna give you the best answer I can possibly give.
Chat to me.
I blame the content creators. Because
I agree.
You'd say I blame you too.
No. Listen, I'm a part of it. I'm a part of it. Savage, you're a part of it. But we're not in that part.
Fat content creators are the problem.
All right. Let me carry on.
My bad, bro. My bad.
Fuck's sake. I wasn't going down that line, but
sorry, bro.
Because obviously the work that we do, because we just talk football all the time and people enjoy listening to us. That's why people are in the chat, man, vibing with us as well. So I'm not saying all of you guys in the chat just go off of the word off of everything we say, because I'm sure you guys go and do your own research. You have your own mindset. But if you're talking about a wide scale thing, the wide scale thing is the fan base now listen to content creators. And because we listen to I would say myself, I use myself for an example. I'll listen to the content creators do their own bits and whatever and speak about certain topics. And then I see everyone then follow that trend after they had that conversation around it. And I'm like, is that from you though? Is that what you initially thought? Or is it because this person has said this, it sounds good, the soundbite is great, he made a joke, he's throwing his hands up in the air and he's shouting and doing the rant, quote unquote. Are we now going, oh yeah, man, that's what I believe in that as well? Or are we taking a step back and going, nah, let me look at the game properly. Let me understand it. And then let me see where this person is coming from. Because in our chat, bro, these men call us out all the time, bro. As soon as man say something mad, trust me, bro, they're just on to us. But I feel like this is the content creators. It's our own fault at times, isn't it?
Like people do listen to content creators now. It's a bit strange, in fact. I can't imagine like having your own opinion on something. I can imagine having your opinion on something, but then someone brings you facts, so you have to take it on board and go check it yourself. But I can't imagine you having an opinion and then somebody with a bigger following has an opinion. You go, oh, you know what? Because he's got the opinion, I'm gonna go with what that seems to be
the bigger following. Yeah.
I couldn't give a shit. I couldn't give a damn if I'm on an island on my own, bro. I just think what I think, and that's it, bro.
But remember, as Enzo's saying there, what you're saying is right, because I don't give two shits about, and I try to go against the grain as much as possible because I don't want to think like you, and there's that too, and like I don't want to. I almost don't. I want to go against the grain so much against content creator because I'm like, well, I don't want to think like you. And I tell everybody in the chat, and you guys will probably do the same, bro. Think for yourself. Feel. That's why I always say. That's why I kept saying to you before, bro. Let people feel how they want to feel because I don't want to be. Listen to what I'm saying. Obviously, of course, I want you guys to watch and like and share the content, but I also want you to use these kind of platforms. Myself, Savage, Ends, JJ, and a few others. Like we're bringing you this content for you to go away and have that extra bit of knowledge to formulate your own opinion now. Not for you to go off my opinion and say, nah, I feel like what G said at 100%. No. If you don't agree with man, which I know half of you in the chat don't, bro, that's fine. I in fact, I prefer it because I want you to go away and challenge me in a sense, and me vice versa. Same way on this here. You guys just heard Ends and Savage talking about Gravenberch and Wataru. They don't agree on certain things, but we still go on. We're going to do a show potentially tomorrow, on a Sunday, on a Monday, whatever, because we can still, communicate our arguments or our points in a way that's going to still educate either or in the kind of situation. So that's all I kind of look at it. Don't ever take what some of these big platforms that I'm not even big platforms, just some who are just bigger than say in terms of subscriber wise, in terms of us.
There are the massive ones as well, to be fair, bro. That they
man.
Because they got with the massive platforms, it's even worse because they employ people in it. So for them, the clicks are the big money, bro. I need to keep, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, just have your own opinion in that, bro. And take the content creators for what they are, creating content for entertainment and that, bro. Sometimes it's education.
Legit.
Yeah, man. Don't be on like, oh, yeah, because he said this, I'm going with it. And sometimes as well, I hate when people take everyone's word on like things what are supposed to be facts and that. Because I've heard man reel off stats to people, and then I've seen someone in the chat go, I don't know what you got that off because that's not the stat.
They do it to us, bro.
Then I'll go check after, and I'm like, yeah, why did that content creator say that when man in the chat said this, and I'll check, and I'm like, yeah, you're wrong, bro. And that's the kind of thing people ain't prepping themselves, but we're in this era now where people, I don't know if people think that their word's important to like Liverpool itself. It's not. I know that of myself. That's why I'm so calm all the time. So I'm not. People come over expecting man to be mad. I'm not mad about anything, bro. You saw it after when the G come over after the Man U game, I think, and I was chilled and he was chilled out. And he's like, I don't understand why everyone's mad, bro. But people,
bro, I was so baffled that day. I was so baffled. Like, did we lose 10 or something?
Stats, man. And I'm like, bro, check it. Because remember, if you start reading off numbers, it sounds like you're telling the truth. Because why would you have random numbers?
Exactly.
But you can't do that to me, bro. Because I'll go, oh yeah, you like Karen talking 1 sec.
I listen. If someone drops a stat, I promise you, I'm on here quickly. Like, all right, yeah. I hear what you're saying. I have to check it, bro.
I'm not trying to give.
I need to know what you're saying. This thing.
Yeah. Because people use it to suit their narrative in it, and they start using stats that we've never used before. But all of a sudden, that stat's important. So you know what I mean? It's one of them ones still.
Nah, I agree with you. Big up Ali A. Lads, could you see Klopp playing Thiago in the 6 role?
Yeah. Don't know when, what game, but
yeah.
I would have said definitely before the 2 signings, McAllister and Thingy, and I say now it'll be based on injuries, like if there's an injury. So I think.
I just hope he doesn't rush him into,
Yeah, or if you want to change something in the game and you're like, oh, let's throw McAllister in the 8 for the last 20 minutes and then take Wataru off because he's been on.
Imagine how sick that is if you took off McAllister, like he's doing the passing and dictating the game in the 6, and then you take him off and then you see Thiago coming on to just sauce up the game again.
Bro. Because the injury aside, and obviously you can't do that with Thiago, but injury aside, before the season started and we hadn't made any signings yet, that's what I was assuming was going to happen. That's where Thiago's going to play in it. And if you look at how McAllister plays, there's not much difference into what they do in the six, bro. Because Thiago plays like that anyway. He's always trying to run back, attack people, and all that stuff anyway. And he can dictate the play from just standing in one spot. So it's one of them, man. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it, man. Even if it's like the last half of the season, I'm looking forward to it, man.
It'll be a game where he needs and he'll help us.
You, bro.
So we have
I hope so, yeah. I hope so. Big up Irie. Is Mac Coutinho 2.0?
No,
I don't think so.
Can I ask a question? Is that what you think, Irie, or is that what someone said and then you've asked the questions to see what we think?
Yeah,
I would love to understand it because these are the comments. And when we go, yeah, and then the narrative then runs. If he then has a bad game, man's like, oh, see, Coutinho 2.0. Where is this? That's what we did with Szoboszlai. That's what we did with gravenberch. So
did Osprey have this conversation on the children the other day about how good Coutinho was?
Yeah.
And he was damn near world class at the time, bro. Like, he struggled to find people in the world better than him.
I don't think. I think he was. I think there was no better at that time that we saw him.
I'm telling you, bro. And the play different, innit? The dribbling style's different. I see there's parts of what they do the same in the good shots, free kicks. You know what I mean? But yeah, Coutinho was different, man. But McAllister's got the World Cup, man. So yeah, you got loads of time on your side and that. But Coutinho was different, bro.
Different.
And he's different type of players, like the things that they were doing.
Yeah, I agree.
And you got to remember when Coutinho, there was a period of time. I say this because I always remember this goal against Bolton that he scored in the cup game.
Yeah,
and because he was starting to get like his long range goals were starting to like tally up even more.
All of a sudden, he can shoot, bro, from long range.
Bro, all of a sudden, like when I never saw him doing all these shots before, or they'll come randomly. All of a sudden, this brother's now shooting from every chance he gets. At that period of time, that was obviously before he the season before he actually left. At that period of time, he was carrying the team on his fucking back. Yeah, he was literally. You remember the Manchester United game in the Europa League that we played? Like this brother was carrying the team on his back alone because he was the only like star quality player that we had. And then when we get into that season that we sell him, Liverpool. Listen, one thing I'll always say about Liverpool, as shite as we have been over the Premier League years, brother, we have had some serious ballers. When you think about, if you just go through the whole of time of Premier League, we've had serious ballers, which is why it's so fucking frustrating. And I know it's a bit off topic, but today I saw someone, I think one of these Twitter accounts, they put up the Premier League table, the all-time Premier League table. So just when the Premier League started to now, Liverpool fucking third on the list. Behind Arsenal, and obviously Manchester United would be top. But Liverpool third, and they weren't even massively off Arsenal. It was under 100 points that we were behind Arsenal. And I was like, do you know how fucked that is? We've won one title in this whole time. They've won 3. And they're only about, I'm sure it was about 80 points. I think they were.
Most of the points were accumulated on the top as well. It's not made up from there.
Do you know how fucked? Crazy. You know how fucked that is, bro? Like, oh my, sorry for swearing, but it is mad. It is mad. Last question. Last question. If Barca comes in, Jan, with 25 to 35 mil for Thiago, would you man sell him?
Unless we're going to reinvest in the squad, then no.
Yeah, same. Because it's not my money, and us selling someone doesn't mean that we're going to be able to spend the money straight away. No. But
I just feel like if we get him fit and we can use him, I think winning some trophies will probably make that money anyway, man. So, and I feel like he could help us win some. I'm not just going to forget about him because he's been injured for so long. Savage said it a number of times, man. Man don't choose to be injured, innit? Like, I just want to go and injure. I'm sure this man has looked and gone, I want to help my team.
We took his surgery. He took his surgery for that reason, innit? Because he could have waited to, I mean? Tried to get himself fixed in that, bro. So, be interesting to see what happens, though, because there was the Saudi talk at the beginning of the season, and obviously his brother's over there. So that'll be interesting to see what happens.
Rafi. Man like Rafi. Gagging deep, big up my bro every time. With Endo going to the Asia Cup as our only natural lone 6, would you like to see a double pivot? We have the midfield profile to do it, and in spells go counter attacking would suit us. I feel like you're answering your question yourself, to be fair. But would you man go?
Would this have been the question start of November?
No. Definitely not.
And that's what I was saying about the recency thing. Because
No,
there wasn't a
definitely
thing we thought about. But at that point, no one was like, Wataru's good, but cool in it. It was McAllister was the guy in it. So I don't see him going out there. I feel like you've got players in it. I'm going to be like Klopp, man. They've got solutions in the squad, innit?
That's true, though.
Bajcetic will be back. Thiago will be back. No need to overcomplicate it, overthink it.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Apologies.
Last question, and there's another question, but it's for you two. Who's the DM cover for Mac when Endo's at the Asia Cup? Which is actually, I think, a good question. Because, yeah, are we just going to play Mac throughout this whole time? And who does he swap out for? Like,
I feel like he might play the whole time.
I hear it.
You might even see a moment, because would Robbo might be back soon. It looks like he's back. I don't even know if Tsimikas is even injured from the photo he posted today.
He look
like he could move, boy.
So another option you've got is
Trent.
right back, and Trent can go in the 6.
Yeah, I was thinking the same, bro. Jones can play there though. Seen him for England do that.
Yeah.
Klopp is loving where he is now, and he doesn't
exactly.
want to yeah. So then you've got Gomez go right back, Trent can go in the 6, and it's not like one will start. It could be you pay 60, then you come on for 40 or whatever it may be. Do you know what I mean? And then you then start the next game. You then, like he's been doing with the squad, just one in, one out, or one in, sub. Then that one starts the next game. Then you get sub. The next one comes in. Then because you got subbed up, just doing a nice bit of rotation there.
Yeah, agreed.
So be that.
And that is the end, people. Oh, sorry, that's not the one. Ends, Savage. Big up your damn selves for obviously joining me. Big up Jerry as well for joining me this evening. Guys, obviously in the chat, obviously, of course, you guys already know Savage and Ends. You know what I'm saying? These are the guys. Welcome any damn time. These are their what do you call it, YouTube channels. So make sure you guys are head on over there. I'm gonna throw this question.
Tampon boys, bro. No more.
Yes, I forgot. Yeah. No. The keyword no muggles, please, or the key phrase no muggles, please. This is really for you two, because I'm not going to be doing one. Will you be doing a watch along Sunday? People want to know.
Are you doing it? Oh, then that.
Yes.
Now, you know what it is, because that's what I decided at the beginning of the season, and when I look back from my videos earlier, I was like, yeah, I did say I'm only going to do cup games because I've got like a couple of Europa League ones and that. So yeah, I'll do it for that. I ain't doing no Prem games though. I don't like the pressure.
Me to do those ones.
I don't want the commitment of being locked into the Prem games, bro. I don't like disappointing people in it. Like, so once it's one people expecting it, and then they go, "Are you doing it?" I'm not. Nah, I'll just do the cup games and that. And I've already figured out, bro, like how many videos I need to do to the end of the season if we get to all the finals. So it's not that many. So it's all good.
Okay. No,
I ain't trying to be bad. Nah, bro. Sometimes watch along the shit, bro.
Yeah, no, they are. Sometimes they actually are.
Because I like to, I do when I'm watching Liverpool games, I'm proper focus on the game, and
I can't engage with you like too much.
Exactly.
No, I feel you.
Exactly.
I might miss a comment as well. That comment's now gone. Like,
and depends on what
people don't understand
as well. But I think this game's on TV, bro. It's not on ITV.
It must be. It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be. End Savage, man. So obviously we come to the end. It's obviously I know you got the watch along. Anything coming out tomorrow? Preview, whatever. What we probably
preview
weekend
for the game tomorrow.
What are you doing? Afternoon or evening?
I think I'll put it to 12. I probably would have to move it. I may have to move it. If not, I just want to get it done and dusted as early as possible, man. Then have the rest of the day to chill out. And
feels like that's what's happening with Thingy as well. Klopp's press conferences are getting shorter, bro. Like,
yeah. He's like, I just want to chill, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying, he got shit to do himself, you know.
Nah, he got someone washing up, bro. I put it on to do the washing up, and then there was the loading screen for ages, and then mid wash up.
The loading screen is longer than the press conference.
Yeah, bro. And then
yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, my hands are wet. I can't skip the video, bro.
You know why I'm busting up? Because I have that situation all the fucking time. When the video show, I'm like, bro, I can't just stop washing. I need to continue. I'm not washing, dry my hands to then get wet again. That's all long. Like,
some of you guys need to have the right equipment, man. Just have the towel on the side, man. You can dry your hands on it.
I don't like.
Yeah, but then I'll dry it and then I'm gonna get it wet again. I don't really like doing all of that. I just do one thing. That's why I'll put something on for time.
That, once I've got it.
Apologies for helping you guys improve. My bad.
I said improve, you know. This is making the situation longer.
Man, I'm in the chat. Come along to the watch along on that, bro. To be fair,
I'll be there, man.
As long as everyone syncs up with the time, so I'm gonna be chilled out on that one still. Should be fun.
No, I'll be there.
Let's fuck up Arsenal, innit?
Say no more, guys. You heard it here. Please make sure you tune into Ends and Savage tomorrow. Obviously, like you said, got the preview, and then on Sunday they have got the watch along. Tomorrow at some point in the day, I'll see if Ends is got space. Then yeah, I'll jump on the preview with you guys, and then some point in the day. So maybe in the evening. I know there's FA Cup games tomorrow, so I'll see, but I don't care about any of those damn
Monday,
things.
I think there's
every day to Monday,
because we're Wigan and Man U's on Monday, innit? Tomorrow's
talk
games
about
are
a dead fixture, bro.
God, there's bare games tomorrow. There's about 20 games, bro.
20 games tomorrow. Okay, cool. Right. To be fair, I've not heard one tie apart from Newcastle, Sunderland.
Yeah, Newcastle, Sunderland. I think it's Villa versus Middlesbrough. It's because the reason why you haven't heard all the ties is because most of them are against Championship teams, bro. Southampton.
No, that's what I'm saying. As in, there's no tie there that I'm like, oh yeah, I got to tune into this today. Like, I'd rather I'll hear about it if Chelsea lose, which they
Newcastle, Sunderland, you know, man. They can't speak English properly, Derby, and that should be funny. Why, man? No,
I know. Was it Fulham struggled today by just scrape past? Was it Rochdale or one of them other teams?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. Yeah, man. The Anton Deck Derby, man. I might watch that still.
And just a quick one after the watch along, the calling shows ready as well.
Oh shit, yeah, man. Oh, yo, I might not do the watch along.
Not bro. That's
not right.
I forgot about that, bro. Bro. Now I'm gonna do it.
Guys, make sure you tune in the calling show. It's gonna be interesting because I'm just quickly on that. Depending on what team he puts out. Because Arsenal are only going to go one way. They ain't got no players to go any other way. So they're going to go relatively strong. So, they got injuries, so they're going to go as strong as they possibly can in this kind of game and treat it like a league game. Yeah. I'm going to be intrigued with the team that he puts out. And I said this to my boy yesterday. Arsenal are in a lose-lose situation anyway. If you beat Liverpool and Liverpool play a weakened team, ain't nobody going to care. If you lose to Liverpool and we play a weakened team, everyone's going to get onto you. So really and truly, for Liverpool, it's almost, I don't want to say free hit because nothing's a free hit. But if for Liverpool, there's no real bad situation necessarily in this other than, of course, getting yourself knocked out. But if you get knocked out of a weakened team, you won't be as mad as if you were like, yo, we just put our strongest team and we just got absolutely bopped across the park. Agreed. That's going to be obviously a bit different. So Arsenal, Tariq, if you're listening, you're pissed either way, bro. So,
judging by the way Klopp spoke, bro, I don't think the team's going to be that weak, It will be different. I don't think it'll be
I've not watched his finger.
We don't have a weak team anyway, bro. Every one of them, man, they are ballers, bro.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem.
Yeah, because obviously Harvey would end up playing anyway.
Just remember said that. That calling show is going to be real interesting, come the result. But now, big up, obviously, everyone in the damn chat. Please, as I keep saying, make sure you're heading over to both channels. No Tampon Boys over there at Savage Talks. And make sure you head on over to Ends and subscribe to his channel if you haven't done so already. I'm G, Ends, Savage. Bro, we are out. Wrong one.